A beautiful Saturday afternoon, clear skies, 77 degrees, perfect atmosphere and energy for Mountain West play between the New Mexico Lobos and the UNLV Rebels. Welcome inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here inside the broadcast booth. Johnnie, what an exciting game right here in front of us. New Mexico 5th in the Mountain West and the Rebels 4th in the Mountain West. Coming into this game, the Rebels are 6-1. New Mexico 5-3, riding a 2-game winning streak. They are looking to get their first road win here today.
And like you said, Wyatt, this New Mexico team is going to be hungry for that first road win. Coming to this game, they have been 0-3 on the road. Losses to the University of Michigan, Hawaii, and San Jose State. UNLV today is going to have to use this home field advantage to their advantage today if they want to come out of this one with a defiant and dominant win against a New Mexico team that is hungry and is ready to knock UNLV right off their block.
The Rebels are fresh off their third and final bye week of the season, and they're fresh off of that. Right before was a dominant loss to the Boise State Broncos on the road. It was an ugly one for the Rebels, 56-31 final, but today they're looking to get their vengeance and show to everyone they belong to keep being on their notice board and circle them on their schedule.
Exactly, Wyatt. And it starts with defense. It starts with Paul Gunther and what type of system that he's going to run with this team. Dan Mullen mentioned in the press conference this week that they have to make sure for defense that the communication on the back end and with the linebackers and with the defensive line is simple enough that everybody knows where they're supposed to be when the play is called. A lot of the big plays that we've seen that have happened from the run game and the passing game for the opposite team on this UNLV defense have been from a lack of communication. Paul Gunther needs to keep things simple, allow his stars in the back end, Amaris Brown, Jake Pope, Andrew Powdrell, and his star linebacker, Marcel McDuffie, to be the leaders for this defense and make sure they do not get gashed like they have so far this year.
And kickoff is underway here inside Allegiant Stadium. Caden Costa kicks this one off and returned back to the 26. A good return there for the Lobos by number 1, Damon Bankston. And coming out onto the field for the Lobos, Jack Lane. He is top 10 in Mountain West for passing yards per game, touchdowns, but then also interceptions. A very lethal threat as a quarterback. What do you see from him today?
Jack Lane, like you said, why he has an incredible arm. There's no doubt denying that. He's going to be a guy that's going to sling the ball around. Biggest problem with him, though, 9 to 8 touchdown to interception ratio. He has to understand that he needs to take care of the football if they want to be successful in this game.
And shotgun formation at the 25. DJ McKinney in the backfield. Lane looks, fires, connects, and brought down at the 30 is number 88, Cade Keith, the freshman from local Las Vegas.
And Luke Schlusner in this offense, the offensive coordinator for New Mexico, understands that what is the quarterback's best friend? His security blanket. And what you can do with the tight ends in this offense is use them in a variety of ways. The leading receiver on this team is going to be Dorian Thomas, tight end, number 7, with over 423 receiving yards on the year.
And after a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 for the Lobos. Shotgun formation here. Handoff. McKinney up the middle and brought down for a gain of 2 at the 32.
And first time we see his name called today, Marcel McDuffie doing a great job in the run fit for that linebacker position. There's been so much talk around the city recently about this UNLV defense and what they're going to have to clean up, and it's going to have to start here, filling in the run gaps, putting your hard hat on, and being ready to hit. DJ McKinney, though, on the offensive end for New Mexico, lightning in a bottle. The guy had 2 touchdowns last week in their last game against Utah State. UNLV is going to have to bottle him up today if they want to be successful and come out of this game with a win.
Big win at home, 33-14 over Utah State, and a big third down here. Shotgun formation trips right for the Lobos at their own 32. 3rd and 3. Into the flat, no good, incomplete, and a quick 3-and-out here for this Lobos offense.
A great job by the UNLV defense to put pressure on Jack Lane in that position. They had a rub route concept to give DJ McKinney the ball on the outside, knowing that it was man-to-man coverage across the board. Marcel McDuffie had to get through the trees, try to get to the outside. Unfortunately, Jack Lane, because of that pressure, had to throw it in the dirt. UNLV's defense off to a great start, showing that they were locked in and ready to go with that bye week to get off the field first.
Lane intended for Damon Bankston, unable to connect. And now punting for the Lobos is Daniel Hughes, the sophomore from Melbourne, Australia. That one bouncing at the 33 in UNLV territory. Fielded, muffed a little bit, and brought down at or inside the 20 is Irvin. and that's where the UNLV offense will take over.
Right there, D'Angelo Irvin just misjudging that football right there. Unfortunately, he was able to have the wherewithal to be able to get on top of the football, secure it enough to where he could get tackled and not allow any fumbles or negative plays to happen. But you got to love what you're seeing from that UNLV defense right there on that drive. You bent, you were able to allow them to get 7 yards, but you were able to get off the field and allow this high, potent offense led by Anthony Calandria to come out with a chance to score points on their first drive.
Calandria, one of the best quarterbacks in the Mountain West. He is top 5 in Mountain West for passing yards per game, touchdowns, completion percentage, and total offense per game. And he hands it off here to Jet Thomas up the middle, breaks the tackle, and brought down at the 20.
And what do they do the first play? They go to their second star on the offensive end. They go to Jet Thomas. The guy has been absolutely phenomenal so far this year, doing a great job as the running back for this UNLV offense, knowing that, yes, they are going to be a committee system, but when he has the football, he's going to make positive plays happen time and time again.
3 yards on that carry. Thomas, 615 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns on the year so far into this game. Shotgun, Calandria connects with Omire, and he's going to pick up the first down after tackled at the 31.
And I love the thought process right there by Corey Dennis, not only to keep the chains moving, but to get your big body X receiver the ball right away. Troy Omire had some success at the end of the Boise State game 2 weeks ago, and he was able to show why he needs to be a focal point in this offense, not just Jaden Bradley and the rest of receivers. And I love to see him getting the ball, catching it clean, and being able to pick up a first down.
Omire, the redshirt senior, transferred to UNLV this year from Arizona State. 10 on the play clock, 1st and 10 at their own 31. Looking, firing far side, one-on-one. Omire, he catches it. Brought down at the 31 in New Mexico territory, and he gets up.
And if we have any Florida boys in the audience, that's what we call a blur right there. Troy Omire showing the confidence and the ability to be able to get the ball and high point it, catch it at its highest point, be able to catch the ball and control it all the way to the ground. And that was such a great job by Anthony Calandria. Over 1,600 yards on the year, and we see why. The guy is a gunslinger. He is not afraid to push the ball downfield to his playmakers.
Omire stands 6'4", 210 pounds. And a 38-yard gain there. Option play, flicks it out. Thomas trying to get the edge. And is brought down around the 28-yard line for a gain of about 3.
And right there, that's going to be the first time we've seen today Jackson Eck, son of head coach Jason Eck. The guy is a football player transferring from Idaho with his dad to come onto this team. He is the team's leading tackler on the season from that linebacker position. But I love the change of pace from Corey Dennis. You have a shot play like that. What do you go? You hurry things up, and you have Anthony Calandria being able to use his legs out in space, get that edge defender to commit to him, pitch the ball right out to Jet.
Eck, not only the leading tackler on this Lobos defense, but is second in the Mountain West with 82 total tackles, and he gets another one there. Up the middle is Thomas. He's not going to get much there for a gain of 1 or 2, bringing it 3rd down.
And that's a great tackle right there by Okiki, being able to set the edge from that offensive tackle and make a nice firm tackle on Jet Thomas, setting up a 3rd and long, and hopefully a field goal here for New Mexico if you are the defensive coordinator, Spence Nowinski.
Thomas tackled there by Okiki Olor Unfunmi, the senior from Weber State.
And I'd love to see UNLV's offense try to force the ball downfield. It looks like they're going to have man-to-man coverage across the board here.
It's going to be 3rd and 7 at the New Mexico 28. Trips left, empty formation, roll out left. Calandria finds an open receiver, but he's short of the line to gain. Day-Day Reynolds brought down and falls at the 22, and it's going to be 4th and 1.
And right there, UNLV goes empty formation, trying to spread the formation out and get him open on the flood concept, but they're hurrying it up now. Going for it here on 4th and 1.
And the referee stopping in on Reed Williams before the snap, and the crowd is not liking it. Still some time. 15 on the play clock. Shotgun formation. Hard count here from Calandria. And a pre-snap audible at the line of scrimmage here.
I think this one is going to be one where UNLV is trying to get their the defense for New Mexico off sides. I think they're going to settle for 3 here.
And they take the snap. Calandria looking. Pressure. Hit as he throws. Incomplete and stopped on 4th down.
And that is going to be a play that UNLV is going to want back. This New Mexico team is going to be nothing to play with. What a great job from New Mexico being able to put pressure on Anthony Calandria and forcing him to get the ball out sooner than he would have liked to, and forcing a big stop to make sure UNLV does not get any points on the board in this first quarter.
Both sides with an offensive possession, both of them scoreless. Tie game here, 9:17 to go in the first quarter. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back here inside Allegiant Stadium. UNLV football underway. 9:17 to go in the first quarter here inside the broadcast booth. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here on the call. Scoreless here so far. Quick 3 and out for the New Mexico Lobos. Now they come back on the field led by Lane. And they're looking to get something going here and move the chains.
Yeah, right there. UNLV wanted to try to be able to get points on the board that was more than just 3, just a little bit too aggressive. They should have had a better play call in that situation if you're Corey Dennis. But now New Mexico with an opportunity to take the lead for their own.
Lane, empty formation, motions Bankston out to the far side. Thrown across the middle and too high there, intended for his receiver, Brown. Incomplete pass.
And great job by Jake Pope in the secondary, being able to show his versatility as a Swiss Army knife in the back end for this defense. He's going to be moved across the formation. They're going to play him in the slot like a Morris Brown. They're going to play him in the back end like a free safety, like a Minka Fitzpatrick type. But they're going to also need this UNLV defensive line to put pressure on Jack Lane and force him into some tough throws. That's where we've seen a lot of his interceptions happen so far this year.
2nd and 10 at their own 22-yard line, coming off a big defensive stop for this Lobos D. Quick motion, has to use his leg. Lane running up the middle, brought down at the 30 for a gain of about 8. Alualu Tuilemodu and McDuffie bring him down.
That was good awareness by Jack Lane. They were trying to get to a wide receiver screen on the outside, and it looks like he subbed out. It looks like there was something that happened there on that play that made him get out the game. They have a different quarterback in for this formation right now.
It is now 3rd and 2. Last time out, the Lobos unable to convert. Let's see what they do here. 8:37 and ticking in the first quarter. Keeper up the middle, and he's going to be stuffed short. Marcel McDuffie denying access.
And you have to love it if you're a Paul Gunther, what you've seen so far from this UNLV defense. There has to have been a communication between them and Dan Mullen about attacking the football and coming downhill ready to hit and not allowing players to have free real estate when it comes to running the football. I have loved what I've seen so far from this UNLV team in terms of being able to fill the run fit and meet them in the gaps.
And this Lobos offense is going to stay out onto the field on their own 31. 4th and 1 with 10 on the play clock. Lane by himself. He's going to keep it for the 3rd carry today. Picks up the first down and more. Down the near sideline. Good blocks up ahead. And a flag on the play. But as it stands right now, he steps out of bounds inside UNLV territory at the 36.
And it's actually going to be James Lobstein that's going to be subbing in for Jack right there on that play. It looks like something happened on that last one that we've seen from Jack. We haven't seen him these past 2 plays. But right there, what a great job by Lobstein being able to find the running angles, running lanes, and get outside. But right there on that play, again, penalties can kill drives. And right there, if you're New Mexico, you have a big play that's negated by a holding call that's going to set them back, and UNLV's defense is going to get a big break, setting up now a 3rd and long for this New Mexico offense.
So the chains will move. It will be a first down at their own 40-yard line, but the holding call takes it back from inside UNLV territory back in their own 40-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Lobos. 7:30 to go here in the first quarter. Scoreless so far. Pistol formation here. Lane motions out Humphrey to the right. Play action. Looking. Pressure. Throws. Connects. He finds Thomas down the near sideline and steps out of bounds at the UNLV 43 for a first down.
I like that wrinkle by Luke Schusner, the offensive coordinator, on that play. They come out in a pistol formation and they motion the running back out of the backfield, and Lobstein is able to give it to their number one target in Thomas. He's able to come out on the simple tight end delay, get as many yards as he can, and get out of bounds, not take any unnecessary hits. But what a great job by them being able to change up the tempo and change up the looks on offense.
Dorian Thomas, this transfer from Arizona, currently a sophomore here. Lane does not take the direct snap. It goes to DJ McKinney. He's tackled down for a loss by Lucas Conti.
Lucas Conti doing a great job of playing football with your eyes. And plays like that, when you're having a wildcat formation and DJ McKinney, the running back, getting the direct snap, you have to understand that there's going to be a lot of different things that they're going to throw at this defense to confuse them. Right there, though, Lucas Conti with a great job at that nose tackle position, being able to see football and hit football, getting a big stop there for the Rebels.
Second and 11 with 6:20 to go here in the first quarter. Ball at the UNLV 45. Lane, pump fakes. Going to use his legs, has the lane, cuts back inside after picking up the first down. Ball spotted at the 31, and the Lobos offensive drive is moving the chains.
And right there, again, once again, we've seen these quarterbacks so far for this Aggies offense be able to come down and move the ball efficiently because of the athleticism from the quarterback position. If you're a high-level quarterback in today in the NFL and at the college level, if you're able to make plays with your legs when plays break down, you're automatically going to help your team out in a tremendous amount of ways.
The 12-yard carry tackled by Jake Pope Jr. Now 1st and 10 for the Lobos at the 32-yard line inside UNLV territory. Lane, pressure, brought down. He is sacked on the play by Cohen Fuller. A great display there of athleticism and quickness off the line of scrimmage.
And what a great job by Colin Fuller, the defensive lineman, 6'3", 235, but being able to show the explosiveness coming from that defensive line position and getting after the quarterback. UNLV has done a great job today of putting pressure on Lane and Lobstein and forcing them to step up in the pocket. They're going to have to continue to do that to keep these guys uncomfortable back there.
A loss of 6 on the play. Now it's 2nd and 16. Backed up at the UNLV 38. Quick screen. Across the middle, connects. Thomas brought down at the 30 for a gain of 8.
And again, we're going to be calling Thomas's name all day today. They go right back to him with a simple tight end screen. You have the running back motioning out to get the linebackers and Marcel McDuffie to move out into the flat. But Marcel McDuffie right on his P's and Q's, understanding where the football is, where he needs to go, and was able to make a good sure tackle on Thomas, sending up a 3rd and long now here for the Rebels.
Less than 4.5 minutes to go. Scoreless so far. Lobos on the move at the UNLV 30. Empty formation here for Lane. 3rd and 8. Looking, firing at the seam. Far sideline, connects. Touchdown, Lobos. He finds Damon Bankston wide open for the 30-yard strike, and the Lobos hit first.
And that whole play is set up because the Lobos were able to go empty formation on that play. When you're able to go empty formation and you have running backs like Bankston, like DJ McKinney that are able to be viable receiving threats out of the backfield, when you line them up with linebackers like Marcel McDuffie, it is a mismatch waiting to happen. They run a spray fade with Bankston. He is on a pure speed race with Marcel McDuffie and is able to make the most out of that play. Touchdown for New Mexico.
Now coming out for the PAT is Luke Drzwicki, and he puts that one through. The Lobos lead early, 7-0 with 4:09 remaining in the first quarter. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. The Lobos lead early here in Las Vegas, 7-0 with 4:09 remaining. 10 plays, 78 yards, 5 minutes and 8 seconds. A very well put together drive for New Mexico off a 30-yard pass from Lane to Bankston. And they get on the board first here today.
And it was just beautiful execution by New Mexico, but it also came down to their quarterback scrambling and making plays with their legs when they needed to. This UNLV defensive line today has done a great job of putting pressure on the quarterbacks, and there's been a couple times they've almost been able to get to them, but almost does not cut it on Saturdays, Sundays, or Friday night lights. You have to be able to get these guys down to the ground and make nice form tackles to be able to set your defense up. UNLV wasn't able to do that, and unfortunately they're going to have to bite the bullet on a 4th down play call where they were not able to get it up. Now they're going to have to play from behind in a deficit, potentially get some points here on this drive.
Jack Lane today in that last drive, 3 carries on 14 yards. Last week he had 4 carries, 18 yards. So in that second drive, he was already able to get what he got last week, and we're probably going to see a lot more of that here today. UNLV offense stepping onto the field, and they will begin at their own 25. An optimistic first drive, unable to convert and get it on 4th down. But we will see here how they respond on 1st and 10. Bradley, the motion man. Calandria shotgun formation looking, fires near sideline. It's caught. Coy Moore at the 45. A huge pickup for a gain of 20.
Beautiful pitch and catch between Anthony Calandria and Coy Moore, and great focus by Coy Moore, understanding where his body was as opposed to the sideline. He's able to get not 1 but 2 feet down, make the nice hands catch, not catch it with his body, and allow UNLV to start the drive on track, on target. Beautiful job right there between him and Calandria.
1st and 10 at the 46. Empty formation here for Calandria and shotgun. 3:30 to go here in the first quarter. They trail 7-0 to New Mexico. Quick throw outside, connects with Bradley. Brought down at the 49-yard line here on the near side.
Quick and easy pitch and catch. Right there, that's just his hot read. You have Jaden Bradley that's going to be able to be on the outside, be on that boundary outside of the numbers. And what does Anthony Calandria do in empty formation? He sees that the defense checked out of the coverage they were previously in, so he's going to take what they give him. And right there, it's basically an extension of your run game when you have that quick pass option.
2nd and 7. Handoff Thomas in the shotgun formation. Met in the backfield. What a hit. Brought down on the play by Mercury Swaim. Absolute levels him in the backfield.
Mercury Swaim doing his best mini Pekka impression. He came down and laid the boom on Jet Thomas and was able to make a nice form tackle. When you're able to see linebackers like that wrap up, put 2 hands, get them on the running back, and be able to get them around their waist, that is a great job and exactly what you want to see from your linebacker unit.
A loss of 2. Now it's 3rd and 9 at their own 47. Calandria in shotgun formation. Surveys the field, looking near sideline. Wide open receiver. Caught. Reynolds inside the 30. First down UNLV in New Mexico territory.
And we're moving the sticks, fellas. Day-Day Reynolds with a great job to get separation right there on the corner route between him and the corner. He was able to get wide open and give Anthony Calandria a big target. And what a great job by Anthony Calandria, staying in the pocket, taking the hit from the defense, and being able to deliver an accurate ball for the first down.
23-yard gain there through the air to Reynolds. It's now 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Lobos 30. Empty formation here again for Calandria. They trail with 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter, 7-0. On the move, Calandria, pre-snap audibles, and a penalty flag for delay of game.
Right there, just some confusion trying to get set. It looked like UNLV, they had Nick Elksonis and Varkey's Guns, both of their star tight ends, in the game right there for the Rebels. And unfortunately, they were not able to get that playoff. And that just comes to being able to, again, communication. That was something Dan Mullen harped on so much during this bye week going into this game. They have to communicate, they have to execute, but you don't want plays like that to back up your offense.
Now on 1st and 15, Thomas up the middle, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and brought down at the 26. For a gain of 9.
And what does Jaden Bradley, or Jet Thomas do, negate that entire play. He's able to show, when you need me most, I'm going to be somebody that you can count on, coach, and I will bail our offense out if we need to, setting up a manageable 2nd and 7 here for the Rebels.
Minute 5 to go here in the first quarter. The Rebels trail 7-0 to the Lobos. And a fumble on the field. There's a dog pile for it, and the Lobos have it. A muffed handoff for the read option between Jet Thomas and Anthony Calandria ends up a disaster.
And right there, again, miscommunication. You have Jet Thomas and Anthony Calandria, who have been a star duo so far for this UNLV offense this year, and they have shown that they have been able to run these read option plays consistently. Right there, that was simply one that got away from them. Anthony Calandria trying to hand it off to his running back. They both were undecided on who was going to keep it and who was going to take it. The ball gets muffed, and New Mexico, Johnnie on the spot, able to get to the football and get the ball back to this offense. UNLV is not going to like the way they have started this football game.
Lobos lead 7-0 here with 55 seconds to go in the first quarter. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Net. .55 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The Lobos lead the Rebels 7-0. And Johnny, it's looking a little bit like you said earlier, concern for a slow start for a Halloween hangover, and it's apparent here for the Rebels in the first quarter.
That's exactly what we're seeing here, Wyatt. For this UNLV team, again, they're coming off their third bye weekend this year. There are a lot of things and nicks and crannies that you're going to have to clean up for this team. They have to play smarter football. They were having a promising drive, and it's to be gated because of that fumble.
The Lobos take over at the 29, breaking loose. That's Lobstein. It's a foot race down the near sideline inside the 20 and brought down at the 13. What a run there for the Lobos on the first play of this third drive.
And Lobstein showing the wheels that he has at that quarterback position. So far today, New Mexico has done a great job of using a two-quarterback system, but it's because they understand the weakness with this UNLV defense, and that is with stopping the run. Right there, they do a simple QB read option, and he takes it all the way for a big gain.
58-yard gain there on the play. Handoff up the middle to Humphrey. He might have gotten a gain of 1, but wow, the wheels on Lobstein there.
And right there, it's all about angles. If UNLV, from the linebackers to the D-line to the defensive backs, if they're not able to meet players in the gaps, meet and match up with blockers and be able to fill run gaps, every team that plays them from here on out is going to understand that that is their weakness, and they are going to try their best to attack it and make sure that they abuse it until UNLV does something about it.
And with that run, it's going to take us to the end of the first. 15 minutes down, 45 to go. Don't go anywhere. More UNLV football on the other side here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here inside the broadcast booth in the Death Star. Beautiful venue, a beautiful game for the Lobos. Not so much for the Rebels through the first quarter. They're hoping they can wake up in this second quarter and make something happen to end this first half correctly.
And I don't know if it's a bye week problem, Wyatt, but we've seen UNLV come out and start these games when they come off of bye weeks rusty. It's like they haven't been able, because they haven't played football, it's like they still have to have that wake-up call. But you can't have that. That's going to put yourself in a hole to start this game.
The 2nd and 9 at the Rebel 19 or 12. Keep it. Play action. Wide open. Touchdown Lobos from 12 yards out. Number 85, Simon Mappa, with the reception.
And again, we talked about before this game, Wyatt, about how they utilize the tight ends in this offense. And right there, what do? They have a simple play action pass. And because Lobstein was able to hold onto the ball so long on that play action, they were able to leak a tight end right out from UNLV right behind the back door, and Mappa, able to get the easiest touchdown of his life on that play, is now going to be New Mexico up 13-0, potentially 14-0 on this field or play after attempt.
PAT is up and in from Drzwicki, and now the Lobos lead 14-0 off a big drive, and on the first play of the second quarter, get the job done. 3 plays, 71 yards, 1 minute and 3 seconds, misread that one, for a 12-yard pass from Lobstein to Mappa. The first pass came from Lane. We knew they were going to come into this game and use both quarterbacks, and we're seeing it here on display in full effect.
And again, the point of the game so far has been, for both sides, execution. On 2 drives now, New Mexico has been able to execute and make smart plays to be able to put themselves in a position to win this football game on the road. And at UNLV, at Allegiant Stadium, they've been able to hush this crowd. Now, if you're UNLV, one benefit of that drive is the time. You still have a ton of time in this second quarter and have to understand that you are going to get the ball back when it starts in the second half. But you need to be able to put points on the board in this next drive before this game runs out of hand and you're getting away from the game script. Don't get away from Jet Thomas in this running game. We understand that passing offense has been vital, and you love to see what Anthony Calandria is doing, but you still want to have this defense guessing, and you need to establish the run to be a vital part of this offense.
UNLV as a whole could not be more lopsided. This offense, and overall in Mountain West play, both conference and non-conference, is first ranked in the Mountain West, but their defense is second to last. And it's interesting because here today, the offense has not been able to convert once they get on the other side of that 50-yard line. The 4th down conversion, unavailable. Now that second drive, they fumble it. They're going to have to pick it up here and get some points on the board if they're going to stay in this game.
And sometimes we always talk about how defenses have to bail out their offense. In this situation, the offense has to bail out the defense. The defense came out ready to play, and they're trying to do the best that they can. But this offense is what runs the show here in Las Vegas.
And whistles blow before the snap. No penalty flags. And they will reset here, thanks to our referee, Gary Reed, on the field. So the Rebels will start at their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10. 14:52 here left remaining in the first half. The Lobos lead 14-0. This offense led by Anthony Calandria is going to look to get some points on the board here. Shotgun formation. Handoff to Lee, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And what a great job by New Mexico being able to meet the guys at the line of scrimmage and not allow Kevon Lee to get to the second level. And that starts with their defensive backs coming from the safety cornerback position, and John Johnson, the cornerback, 5'11", 200 pounds, being able to get his nose dirty and make a great hit on Kevon Lee for a stop right there.
No gain there. Still 2nd and 10 now. Shotgun formation, Calandria. Gets a snap, play action, surveys the field, steps out, fires right side, connects near the 31-yard line is Elksness for the first reception of the day for him.
And right there, just Elkness being able to show your numbers to your quarterback, understand that, hey, if he doesn't have any options, again, I'm a tight end. I need to be the quarterback's best friend, and I need to be a security outlet, a security blanket. He's able to do that right there. And I love the presence and patience by Anthony Calandria to keep his eyes up. We've seen him extend plays with his legs, but right there, he kept that option viable.
3rd and 4 now after that 6-yard reception to Elkness. Ball at their own 31. Quick pass in the flat. Lee with the lead block. Cuts back inside, and he's going to be stuffed short. A quick 3-and-out here for the Rebels, and the punting unit is going to come out onto the field.
And Frankie Edwards III said, I am not going to get blocked. The cornerback did a great job of juking Nick Elsonis and making sure that he wasn't going to be able to make a tackle. Kevon Lee, unfortunately, he's not like Jet Thomas. He's not a guy that you're going to want to see out in space and be elusive with the football. He is more their power rusher. Right there, I would have loved to see Jet be able to get the ball in that position out in space. Unfortunately, he wasn't, and UNLV is going to have to settle for a punt here.
Now punting for the first time today. Cam Brown pins that one inside the 20, and that one rolls around the 16, and that's where New Mexico will start here on the other side. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. The Lobos lead the Rebels 14-0 with 12:56 remaining in the first half. Johnnie, an unacceptable start for these Rebel offense. It's just timely conversions, not allowing them to be able to push forward and get over the top to get points on the board. And this Lobos offense has not been able to be stopped so far today.
And it starts with play calling. It starts with Corey Dennis being able to call plays on first down that are going to set up second and manageable, not first and second or third and longs. You don't want that if you're UNLV in this offense. It limits what you can do.
Now Lane on first down at their own 16. Designated screen, getting loose, and down the far sideline, beats the man down the field is Bankston. He's going to break away free, 84 yards, touchdown Lobos. And there's a penalty flag on the play, back at the 20, and Lane is sitting down in disbelief.
And exactly, Wyatt. And what did we say before? Penalties are what kill teams. And right here, this penalty is going to be on UNLV and their defense, and they are going to allow New Mexico to take a 3-touchdown lead in this football game. Right there, you have a screen pass that New Mexico executed perfectly. And when you have playmakers, guys that can get the football like DJ McKinney, and in this instance, Damon Blackson being able to make a Bankston being able to make a play like that on first down, and this UNLV defense, their biggest problem is their eyes. They are not able to watch where the football is and make nice form tackles and meet these guys. That's what happens. They're going to have electric, explosive plays happen to them, and now they are in a big hole for this offense to crawl themselves out of.
A lot of critical comments coming at this UNLV defense, and a lot more is going to be coming after that play. One play, 84 yards and 13 seconds. Bankston takes it to the house off a screen. We're going to step aside for 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere here on Rebel Sports Net. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Net. If you're now just joining us, the Lobos have come into Vegas and absolutely taken over. They lead 21-0 with 12:43 left in this first half. A beautiful play here for the Lobos off a screen to Bankston, 84 yards down the field to put up 6.
And if the first quarter was jabs, this second quarter has been nothing but haymakers from this New Mexico team on the offense and defensive side of the football. They have done a great job of coming ready to play. And that's what happens. If you're UNLV and you don't come into your bye weeks and understand that you're going to play a team that is ready to play, this is what's going to happen.
And Glover met at the 18-yard line, hit hard by a couple Lobos. And that's where this offensive drive will begin for the Rebels.
And now for UNLV and Corey Dennis, the play sheet is out the window. This game is already busted open. You have to put points on the scoreboard in this drive if you want to be able to stay within striking distance. We have already seen this New Mexico offense be lethal so far to the UNLV defense. UNLV's offense is going to have to claw their way out of this football game, and I'm going to need to see Anthony Calandria put the S on his chest once again for this football team to potentially win this football game.
Ant-Man going to have to put this whole squad on his shoulders here. They trail by 21, 12:37 to go in the first half. Shotgun formation, 1st and 10 at their own 18. Calandria fires far sideline, connects. Varkey's Gums for a gain of 16.
Varkey's Gums with a little bit of toe drag swag on the sideline for Anthony Calandria, running a beautiful chair route. The chair route is basically like a corner route, but you have to be able to fit that ball within a cover 2 zone. Anthony Calandria did a great job of getting the ball over that flat defender and putting that for a first down.
1st and 10 at the 34 now. Calandria, handoff Thomas up the middle, and is wrapped up at the 37. For a gain of 4.
And if Dimitri Johnson, the linebacker, was not able to wrap up and make that nice form tackle, we might be saying Jet Thomas in the end zone right now. We've seen him be able to bust explosive plays like the one he had against Idaho State right there. That was a great job by Johnson making a nice tackle.
2nd and 7 at their own 37. Motion, hits the motion man. That's Thomas out in space, near sideline, picks up the first down. And move the chains for this offense.
And KYP, know your personnel. Right there, that's exactly what UNLV should have did on the last drive with Jet Thomas when they ran that screen pass for Kevon Lee. When you have a guy like Jet Thomas that is very elusive and is very rarely going to let the first guy get him down, if you put him out in space, he's always going to make good things happen. Right there, he does a great job of making the defender miss, picking up a first down for the Rebels.
Ball at the 45-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Calandria looking, rolling right, pressure behind him, throws too far outside, intended for Jaden Bradley. It's going to make it 2nd down.
And sometimes the best play is a throwaway. You have right there Anthony Calandria with the pressure coming to his face. What does he do? He's able to roll outside the pocket, live to fight another day, give his offense another down to work with, and be able to keep the ball in their hands, in their possession, not take a sack, not have a negative play, but have a throwaway.
11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 at their own 45. The Rebels trips right. Shotgun formation. Calandria with Thomas in the backfield. Roll out right. Quick pass. Connects. Gain of 8. And it's Omire with the reception.
Again, Troy Omire, when he's running those 6 to 7 yard stop routes, 6-7. That guy is such a big, nice target. You love to be able to have that in the quick pass game of this offense, because when Anthony Calandria is able to shift this pocket and he's able to bootleg, he is always on the money. He squares his shoulders up and puts the ball right on the receiver's numbers.
Are we ever going to get a broadcast where 6-7 is ever mentioned?
I don't think so. That's our trademark here at Rebel Sports Net.
I don't know if it is. That might be yours. 3rd and 2. Thomas up the middle and moves the chains on a gain of 5, brought down near the 42-yard line.
And I love the effort and passion right there from Jet Thomas. That's a play where you have a guy, again, Dimitri Johnson, trying to make another hard tackle on him in the backfield. And what does he do? He shrugs a man off and gets a much-needed first down for this UNLV offense and doesn't put Corey Dennis in a position to where he has to call a tough play on 4th down.
He was brought down by Tavion Combs, the senior from Amarillo, Texas. Calandria, far sideline, connects! What a catch by Day-Day Reynolds at the 8-yard line. A 35-yard strike to put it in first and goal situation, but there's a penalty flag at the 27-yard line. And that's going to go against the defense on John Johnson. Decline that penalty, first and goal Rebels.
And that was a complete shot play, a shot call by Corey Dennis, understanding that my guy is better than your guy. And so what does he do? He calls number 3, Day Reynolds' number, and allows him to run that fade route. And it was almost a sluggo, a lot what we see with A.J. Brown on the Eagles.
First and goal at the 8, handoff Glover off the right side. Gonna gain of about 1. Brought down at the 7.
But on that last play, you love to see Day Reynolds, regardless of the pass interference call, be able to have the wherewithal and the focus to still be able to make a nice hands catch. He extended out, looked like Michael Jordan in Space Jam, to be able to get that ball high pointed, get 2 feet down. There are scouts here today. They may be looking at guys like Amaris Brown, looking at guys like Jet Thomas, but he wants to make it known that he's a guy that be on their radar as well when it comes to the NFL.
Calandria under center, Glover in the backfield, heavy set, play action, looking, across the middle, wide open, touchdown Rebels! Day Reynolds from 7 yards out, and the Rebels finally punch it in for 6.
Day Reynolds doing his best basketball impression, boxing out, using that big frame as a wide receiver, 6'2", being able to get the ball right there for Anthony Calandria and doing a great job of answering. That was the first drive we've seen so far today of what UNLV looks like when they are playing their brand of football. They are executing, and they are able to be a high-level elite offense when Anthony Calandria is wheeling and dealing and attacking the secondary for the opposing team.
74 yards on that drive through the air. 9 plays, 82 yards in just 3 minutes and 42 seconds. The Rebels awaiting the PAT from Ramon Viella here with 8:55 to go. Snap, hold, kick is up and through, and the Rebels bring it in within 2 scores. 21-7, the Rebels trail, 8:55 to go here in the first half. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Net. Nine plays, 82 yards in just 3 minutes and 42 seconds. The Rebels finally strike and get on the board. They trail 21-7, but a great display from Calandria to Reynolds on multiple occasions in that drive there, Johnny.
And we've seen how deep this UNLV team is, especially with their wide receiver core. It's been a little bit quiet from Jaden Bradley. We saw him have that touchdown last week against Boise State. But when you have guys like Troy O'Meara, you have Day Reynolds, you have Jaden Bradley, you have D'Angelo Irvin, there is a lot of talent on the outside. And with Anthony Calandria, that is now, his 13th touchdown on the year to 4 interceptions. When you have a guy that has a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, which was a guy that was prone to throwing interceptions, but because he has done a great job of taking care of the football, yes, we've seen him fumble today. Well, in terms of passing the football to these wide receivers, he has done a great job, and it's given Corey Dennis the ability in a game script like this when you are playing from behind to have the confidence to push the ball downfield and give his playmakers a chance.
Day Reynolds on the day, 4 catches, 71 yards, and tack on a touchdown with that as well. As the Lobos offense comes onto the field and will begin at the 22.
And now the biggest thing, we seen UNLV's offense be able to wake up. I need to see the Rebel defense to be able to get stops on first and second down and force this Lobo team to pass the football down the field. We've seen when Jack Lane has gotten pressure today, it has not been very efficient football from him. I need to see them get stops on first and second down.
Pistol formation for the Lobos. In the backfield is McKinney. 8 on the play clock, 8:50 to go here. 1st and 10 at their own 22. Run to the left side. Not much there. Gain of 1. Stopped by Adelea.
And what a beautiful job by Jalen Lee from that defensive tackle position, moving with the offensive line and filling that run gap. That was supposed to be a run to the A gap. What does he do? He puts his entire big frame into that gap and does not allow McKinney to burst right through that seam. That's what you love to see. That sets up a 2nd and 9 and allows his secondary to be different with their looks and what they want to give the quarterback on defense.
Lane in shotgun formation with McKinney on his right hip. Trips right here. 2nd and 9. Quick screen. Caught Thomas. Dorian brought down near the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a 3rd and long.
And Mumu bin Wahad crawling on the ground like a dog with a big hit from the opposite nickel back position. He did a great job of understanding. Yes, I study film. Yes, you guys ran another tight end screen on me. Guess what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to come downhill, and I'm going to hit. I got long sleeves on for a reason. I'm not going to get hurt. I'm coming down, and I'm going to lay the boom. This is a big down for this UNLV defense. They need to get off the field and give this offense the football back.
Potential momentum shifter here. 3rd and 9 at their own 23. Another screen play. This time Buckley, and he's going to be stopped short by this defensive secondary.
What a great job by Paul Gunther and having these guys stay in man-to-man and not allow a first down to happen. If you're New Mexico, you would have liked to have a better play call right there to be able to stay aggressive. You don't want to allow this UNLV football team to rally in their stadium playing from behind with Anthony Calandria, who is wheeling and dealing to get comfortable in this football game. That's going to be a play that they want back, and Luke Schlusner is going to have to be able to play and call a better job next time. But UNLV, great job bending but not breaking, giving this offense the football back.
Now Daniel Hughes, the sophomore from Melbourne, Australia, for the 2nd time today, punts this one, and Irvin at the 30, brought down as soon as he catches it by number 5, Frankie Edwards the 3rd. And so UNLV will start their offensive drive at their own 31.
And right there, you have D'Angelo Irvin not taking a fair catch, understanding that he felt like he had enough time. Luckily, he was able to hold on to the football, not allow any fumbles or anything like that to happen. We've seen what happened on the other side with Boise State. They had fumbled some punts 2 weeks ago when we played them. But right there, D'Angelo Irvin being able to be sure-handed enough. But again, we need to see Corey Dennis in this offense be effective and efficient on 1st and 2nd down to set up the shot plays we've seen so far in this game.
200 yards, 182 of those through the air. This time they're running it. Skip pass outside. It's Jet Thomas. He picks up the first down near to the sideline and brought out of bounds at the 44 for a gain of 13.
I know the president has Air Force One, but right now what I'm seeing so far is Jet Force One. When you have this guy out in space, you have to get ready for takeoff because the guy is a big play waiting to happen. What do? They do a great job again of going back to that speed option, not the read option, but allowing Anthony Calandria to get that edge defender to commit to him.
Play action, rolling right, fires far sideline. That's Bradley, cuts back inside and brought down out of bounds after picking up the first down at the Lobos 45.
And right there, that's what happens when you're able to stay with their game script. You allow Jaden Bradley to get outside, run that comeback route, and allow Anthony Calandria to bootleg what he loves so much. You know that when they go and they're probably playing Madden, his coaching suggestions is on PA Boot LT because the guy is amazing at being able to bootleg and get the ball to his receivers.
Less than 6 minutes to go here in the first half. 1st and 10 at the Lobos 44. Down in the flat is Thomas, and he's brought down near the 40-yard line for a gain of about 5.
And you love it. Everything so far has been to the outside of this defense. When the UNLV is able to get their playmakers in space, we've seen how elusive they can be with the football. When you're running on 1st and 2nd down and you're kind of running it up the gut, those plays can kind of get swallowed and bottled up because there's so many defenders in the box. But if New Mexico is going to play with multiple defenders in the box, what are they going to do? Play it out in space.
Moore, the motion man, they throw it to him. Calandria connects with Moore. Far side, fighting for more yards. And it's going to be 3rd and short on a 5-yard gain. Moore, the motion man, and catches it in the flat and starts chugging his way to try to pick up that first down.
And right there, like you said, Wyatt, ironically enough, Coy Moore running for more on that play, running hard, trying to get to the outside. You would have liked to see Tayshawn Lyons have a better block on the outside, and that potentially would have been a first down. But Coy Moore was not going to let 1, 2, or 3 dudes take him down. He had almost 6 New Mexico defenders on him. Big 3rd down here for the Rebels, though.
I was ready for 6-7 there. Calandria handoff. Lee cuts back inside. First down, maybe more. Dragging a couple defenders, and he's brought down officially at the 28 for a gain of 7.
And right there, that is exactly why you have Kevon Lee on this football team. He is your power back. When you are in a 3rd and short situation, you give the ball to Kevon Lee because he still does have a little bit of looseness in his game. He's able to make one guy miss, pick up the first down, keep those legs churning, and what a great job by Corey Dennis. Be able to keep this offense on track, and they know if they want to stay in this football game, they can't settle for field goals. They have to get in the end zone. Love what I see so far on this drive.
Lee transferred from Mississippi State this year to UNLV, and he's making an impact throughout this entire season. 2 seconds on the play clock. Calandria unable to get it off in time, but a timeout by Dan Mullen to hold back that penalty flag. So a timeout here. We're going to step aside. 3:40 to go in the second quarter. 21-7 the Rebels trail. We are listening to Rebel Sports Net. Two minutes and 23 seconds on this drive so far. 3:40 remaining in the half. 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Lobos 28. Shotgun formation. Calandria play action with Lee. Fires across the middle. Bradley connects, breaks the tackle, and falls down at the 4 for a gain of 24.
And Jaden Bradley with a little bit of that take me through there, being able to get that nice hands catch, but UNLV up-tempo right now on offense.
And they're hurrying to the line. Trips right. On the 4, Calandria shotgun formation, handoff, Lee up the middle, fighting, he's in, touchdown Rebels from 4 yards out, Kevon Lee not going down.
UNLV showing they're gonna have some life here in this football game. They are at home, they do not want to go out fighting. The Halloween hangover seems to be over, and Kevon Lee doing his best Neo impression, almost lolling over his own offensive lineman to put his head down and get into the end zone. And Corey Dennis and the offense have definitely woken up. They understood they needed to get 6 in this drive. They did exactly that. UNLV is back into this football game.
The PAT is up, and it's in through the leg of Ramon Viella. It is now a 1-score game here in Vegas. 3:14 remaining. We're going to step aside briefly. Don't go anywhere. More action here on Rebel Sports Net. Things are heating up in the desert. The Lobos lead by 21-14. Only a 1-score game here, Johnny. The Rebels have finally woken up here in the second quarter. 7 plays, 69 yards in 3.5 minutes. They're able to punch it in for 6 through through the legs of Kevon Lee.
And it's all from execution. So far in this football game, Anthony Calandria, 17 for 19, 225 yards and a touchdown. The guy is playing absolutely out of his mind. Right now, he has a 206 QBR, quarterback rating. That is about as high as you possibly could get it, but he has had to play that way because of what has been called for in this game.
And a good return here by Bankston all the way out to near the 40-yard line, but a flag at the 37 might bring this one back for holding.
And right here, if you're New Mexico, you still have to stay aggressive. There is plenty of time in this football game, and you have now seen this UNLV football team on offense and on defense get more life. You have to continue to keep your foot on their necks, and you cannot allow them to rally themselves and will themselves to a win in this football game. I want to see Jason Eck and this offense be able to push the ball downfield, but they're going to have to do it with their passing game. They're not scaring UNLV. There's been a lot of pet plays, a lot of screen passes to tight ends. They're going to have to see if these wide receivers can challenge the defensive backs in the secondary for UNLV.
So it will be a holding call on New Mexico. Ball was originally spotted near the 35. But the Lobo offense will take over at the 23 officially. 3:09 remaining in this second quarter, in the first half. They have plenty of time. They have 3 timeouts. UNLV has 2. But this Lobo offense right now out there is James Lobstein instead of Lane on first down. He's going to keep it off the left side. Not going anywhere. Brought down near the 25 by the front of UNLV's defense, led by Lucas Conti.
And a Lucas Conti once again showing why the nose tackle is so important in football, because he's setting the edge, he's setting that line of scrimmage, and not allowing this New Mexico offense to run right up the gut. When Lobstein is in there on offense, you have to know it's almost like Jalen Milroe on the Seattle Seahawks. He is going to run the football. He's in there for a reason. Now they switch to Jack Lane, and what is most likely going to be what? A passing down.
2nd and 7, 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Shotgun formation for Lane. Looks right, fires, intercepted, going the other way, into the end zone. Touchdown, Quandarius Keys. A 25-yard pick six going the other direction, and we got ourselves a ball game.
And UNLV able to get the slot machine, and they are taking this one straight to the house. Quandarius Keys again. That has to be at least his 4th interception now on the season. We've seen this guy be a ball hawk, but it goes back to, again, KYP, know your personnel. If Jack Lane is going to be on the field for this team, what is he going to do? He's going to throw the football. That is now his 9th interception on the year, and Quandarius Keys from that cornerback position, able to sit in his squat and his backpedal, trigger to the football with his T-step, and get into the end zone for a pick six. And this UNLV stadium is lively. They are in this football game, and there are still 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this first half.
Keys with his 2nd interception of the year, and his first one returned to the house. Awaiting the refs to step aside for the PAT. 2:20 to go in this half. And a lot has changed since the midway point in the second quarter, Johnny.
And that's what you have to know, that Dan Mullen on the sideline had to tell these guys, if you want to walk out of this game with a win, you have got to wake up. This UNLV team has woken up, and they are ready to play. They are here to play, but we need to see them continue to do this thing. You hear chants of rebels throughout the stadium. They have to stay on top of that. They cannot get lackadaisical. They have to understand that New Mexico is going to respond. But I love the fight I've seen so far from UNLV, understanding that, yes, we started a little bit late, but now we're going to get into it and play our brand of football.
There's an injured Lobo on the field. It was Damon Bankston, the starter running back for the Lobos, the senior transfer from Weber State. He was able to get up on his own. That was the delay. This game was supposed to start at 12:30, got moved up, and now we're seeing the Rebels finally show up when the time was supposed to kick off. And UNLV has tied this game at 21 apiece with 2:20 to go here in the first half.
And if you're Paul Gunther in this defense, you have to love what you're seeing so far. They've been able to have 3 consecutive drives now when they've been able to get stops on defense. For a defense that have been so highly scrutinized throughout the Valley about what they can't do in terms of stopping the run and in terms of playing on the defensive back end, For them to be able to have a play like that, that energizes your whole team. That makes you guys believe in your system and believe what you guys are trying to do. And for them to start the game off the way that they did in a horrendous fashion, to be now in a tie game, the ball game is 0-0. But we have to remember, UNLV is getting the football back in the second half. You don't want New Mexico to get and end this first half with a score. You want to be able to potentially get the ball back on a quick 3-and-out with 2 timeouts in your back pocket.
Jack Lane, the quarterback for the Lobos, was going into this game second in interceptions in the Mountain West. He's now thrown his 9th interception of the year. And a great stop by the return unit, by the kickoff return coverage team, and Glover brings down the returner near the 16, and there's life here in Allegiant Stadium.
And Jalen Glover, we talked about it a couple weeks back with Caden McGee, showing what he could do on special teams as a gunner. Right there, Jalen Glover with a big hit on his fellow running back, DJ McKinney. And DJ McKinney, if Bankston is going to be out of this game, is going to be the next star for this offense if they want to be successful and win this football game. But I love to see the effort right there from Jalen Glover, understanding, yes, I'm on the kickoff team, but I still have a big part of this team and what I can do.
1st and 10, ball at their own 16. 2:16 to go in this second quarter. And a keeper here by Lane for a gain of 4, brought down at the 20-yard line.
And that's a great job by Jalen Lee and Lucas Conti, seeing that Jalen Lane's drop back looked like he was going to pass. Nope, it's actually just a QB power.
And with that carry, that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. Tied ball game at 21 apiece. Lobos have the ball on offense. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. There's more action on the other side. The Rebels have life in the back half of the second quarter. It's tied at 21 apiece. Fresh off the 2-minute timeout, the Lobos offense is on the field, 2nd and 6. Ball at their own 20. And the excitement is rising here inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Graves here on the call. Lane in shotgun formation, trips left here. Looking, forced out right, steps forward, across the middle, wide open, connects at the 35, 20, 10, far sideline. He's in. Touchdown Lobos, 80-yard strike for Keegan Johnson. Absolutely terrific there for the Lobos.
Keegan Johnson on that play, running a post route against Jaheim Joseph, and he absolutely turned on the afterburners on that play. When Jack Lane was able to push the ball downfield, step up in the pocket, not run, but keep his eyes up on his receiver, and he threw a beautiful ball, and Keegan Johnson able to high point the football, track it, and not allow Jaheim Joseph to take him down, get in for a touchdown. But if you're UNLV, you have to understand, you have 1 minute 49 seconds, and your offense has 2 timeouts. You have to still be confident about what you're seeing from this offense, knowing that you're going to get the ball back in the second half. Nothing to fret. They're going to be able to take that, flush that play. Explosive plays are going to happen. When you're in college football, these guys are going to let those things happen. But now it's about how do we answer that back? How do we get this football back in the scoring position and set ourselves up for success?
The Lobos lead 28-21, and a great job by Jack Lane to be able to flush that last drive, throwing a touchdown to the defense, a pick six, and being able to throw a touchdown pass here fresh off the 2-minute timeout.
Exactly, Wyatt, and you hit it right on the money. You have to have a short-term memory loss if you are a quarterback at any level. You want to be able to flush those plays, allow them to not get in your head. You still want to play confident, and you still want to play free. He did exactly that. He's seen his receiver downfield. He didn't be hesitant because of that interception on the last play. He saw the man. He knew what kind of personnel he had. He knew the look he had, and he delivered it right there for New Mexico. Great answer. You have to believe that Coach Eck has to love what he's seeing so far from his quarterback.
Taking a look at the game comparison today, total yards, Lobos 337 and the Rebels 269. It's going to be a high offensive powered game today, and we're seeing it full display in the first half. The Rebels looking to continue what they have done throughout this second quarter in the latter 6 minutes. They have 1:49 to go. 28-21, they trail by 7 with 2 timeouts to be able to answer that touchdown.
And right there was a couple games ago we saw in the press conference with UNLV with Anthony Calandria, who was able to lead a 45-second drive to be able to get them to score in a couple games back. And we know this guy is confident. When they go out there with Corey Dennis and they have their game script, they know that they are going to execute. They're going to get out of bounds, save their timeouts, and put their offense in a position to where they could score points. I know for a fact they're going to be aggressive, and there's going to be shots though down the field on this drive.
Ample time, important to not force anything. Bunch right formation here, shotgun for Calandria. Across the middle, designated screen. And it's going to be a gain of about 3. Caught on the play for the Rebels is Earl.
Right there, another guy that we haven't heard much from, JoJo Earl. They were trying to get him on the screen pass right there.
90 seconds to go in the first half. Calandria looking pressure, looks out near side, penalty flag near the middle of the field, intended for Reynolds, incomplete pass too low.
And it's probably going to be a legal contact call right here.
And a holding call on the defense, automatic first down, and they're going to move the chains. The ball will be spotted at the 38-yard line.
And the best part about that play, it stops the clock. The clock is completely stopped. UNLV did not have to waste any of their timeouts. It's going to be 1 minute and 22 seconds now for this high-potent offense.
Quick snap, Calandria towards the flat, connects. Thomas tries to get outside, unable to met by a number of Lobos, but brought down by Frankie Edwards III.
And everything right here needs to be about hurrying up and execution. Time is still ticking. There's going to be a point where once they get past the 50-yard line, Dan Mullen's going to have to keep his eyes on the clock and keep his timeouts in his back pocket.
Second 11 at their own 37. Calandria with less than a minute to go. Pressure brought down for a sack. A huge loss there on second down. And it's Brett Carr who's able to get him down.
And right there, just a miscommunication on the offensive line. Number 60, McGowan, was not able to meet the linebacker and allowed him to get after his leader, get after his quarterback, and that's going to be a play that UNLV is going to want back. That's what kills drives and kills the momentum for a team that is looking to tie this ball game up.
New Mexico takes their first timeout of the first half with 51 seconds remaining. It's 3rd and 19. You're sitting in a good position there if you're the Lobos, thinking that you're going to get the ball back potentially with ample time. I mean, decent amount of time, around 40-ish seconds, be able to go down the field with potentially 1 or 2 timeouts in your back pocket and try to put up some more points before the half.
Exactly. That's exactly why they call that timeout in that situation. They already seen on the last drive with them being able to score a big shot, 80-yard touchdown like that. And if you know that your defense is going to be able to get a stop here in this situation, you're going to have great field position regardless of what kind of punt happens. You're going to have enough time to be able to get 2 or 3 plays off. If they go your way, then you can be more aggressive. If they don't, you go into halftime.
Lobos lead 28-21. 50 seconds remain in the first half. Both teams with 2 timeouts in their pockets. Calandria 3rd and 19 at their own 29. Pressure off the edge. Steps up. He's going to use his legs. Fumbles the ball forward. diving on it, and recovered are the Lobos. On the ball is Levels. Azaria Bear Levels has recovered it, and it's first down New Mexico inside UNLV territory.
And that right there, Wyatt, is how to lose a game 101. In that situation, Anthony Calinger, I understand trying to make a play, trying to get outside the pocket, but you have to take care of the football. What a great play by McCoy, being able to do a Peanut Tillman impression and knock that football out and give his offense the football back with great field position to at least be able to extend this lead to 10 before halftime.
Punched out by Kawan McCray and recovered by Levels. And it's going to be first down at the UNLV 48 for the Lobos, looking to put more points on the board with 44 seconds to go and 2 timeouts.
And if you're the UNLV defense here in Paul Gunther, bend but do not break.
Lane rolls out right, near sideline, connects. Johnson at the 34-yard line, and there's a flag on the far side of the field near the UNLV sideline. As it stands right now, 1st and 10 at the 34, and it's going to be offsides on the defense. They're going to decline that penalty, and this offense is moving pretty good here.
And right there, again, a lack of execution and a lack of knowing where you are on the football field. Not only do you give up the first down and already allow them to get the moves changing, and now they're in field goal range, but then you add that up with another penalty on an offsides. You have to know where you are on the line of scrimmage on the football field and not in the neutral zone.
The 14-yard completion to Johnson now sets up 1st and 10 at the 34. Lane near sideline connects to Thomas, who's able to get out of bounds at the 29.
Great play calling right here, right now, from what I'm seeing from New Mexico. They have done a great job with Schleusner as the offensive coordinator, getting the ball to the outside and taking as much time off the clock. But they haven't had to do that. They've been able to get the ball to the outside, stop the clock, still have 2 timeouts in their back pocket, and that is because of that big fumble call. And time and possession in football is such an integral part of what you need to do to win games.
Now Lane on 2nd and 5, stepping up, pressure, flag on the far UNLV sideline again. But if this play stands, it's first down Lobos near the 23.
And it might be Chief Borders once again with another offside call.
And it'll be illegal formation on the offense, so that's going to bring it back 5 yards.
And that bails out the UNLV defense in this scenario. Again, the name of the game is bend, do not break. You do not want to give up a touchdown and be down 2 scores. You want to hold this New Mexico Lobo offense to only 3 points in this situation and try to make the most out of a bad situation.
So now it's 2nd and 10 with 28 seconds to go. The Lobos still have 2 timeouts. The ball will now be spotted at the UNLV 34-yard line. Second and 10, Lane, shotgun formation. Bankston back in the game. He gets the screen, cuts back inside, makes a man miss, and is brought down after picking up the first. Officially marked down at the 23.
And on a big down right there, UNLV, all you have to do is find where the football is and make a form tackle. Christensen, instead of making a nice form tackle, what does he do? He lunges and he throws his whole body at a man, and he allows the elusive Bankston to make a play and get a first down for this offense. UNLV is going to have a lot of conversations in this locker room, and a lot of them are going to be on self-inflicted wounds. There have been a lot of self-inflicted wounds in this football game, which has allowed them to be in this position, to be down in this game. They're going to have to clean it up and play their brand of football, play smarter football and intelligent football if they want to leave this one with a win. Because for the rest of the season, Wyatt, they're going to play 5 straight weeks. There is no more bye weeks to clean up a lot of the bad habits we've seen with this football team. If those things aren't nipped in the bud, then a rematch with Boise State potentially is not going to be on the horizon for this UNLV football team.
And with that carry, the Lobos will take their 2nd timeout of the first half to preserve as much time on the clock as possible. 21 seconds, and it's 1st and 10 at the Rebel 23. This offense is looking to punch it in for 6 instead of 3.
It's a big moment in the football game here for the Rebels. You want to be able to get potentially a turnover, a sack fumble, an interception that is going to take a situation that could be very dire and continue to spread this game out for the Rebel offense.
1st and 10, Lobos lead 28-21. Laying in shotgun formation, Bankston in the backfield with them. Pressure brought down to Miche Odelay. What a sack! Brought down at the 29, celebrating, and the clock continues to tick. And they're going to wait till there's about 3 seconds to take that final timeout to take their points and get out of this half up by 2 scores.
And you love to see that, not just to get the stop, but hold this in, potentially hold this team to 3 points, but you love to see the will of the defense not being broken. Understanding that, yes, our offense made a mistake. Yes, they put us in this scenario and put us in this territory, but we still have to hold up our end of the bargain. And what does Touchet do right there on that play? He makes a big sack to knock any of the life and any of the rhythm that New Mexico's offense had. He knocked it completely out and allowed this defense to have something positive to go into halftime off of.
Ball will be spotted at the 29-yard line, so we're looking at a 46-yard field goal for Luke Driswicki, the senior from Shelby Township, Michigan.
And we've seen UNLV already so far this season get lucky on field goals. Case in point, the Air Force game when they were able to walk out of that one with a W. Let's see if that same type of situation here could potentially happen for the Rebels.
Here we go. 2 seconds left in the half. Snap by Hold. Kick is up and through. Nope. Off the upright, but there was a timeout by UNLV. If there was no timeout, that would have been a missed field goal, and they're going in a half. Plenty of leg, just a little bit too much to the right. Hits the right upright and goes out.
And UNLV is going to wish they had the click remote right there and they could rewind that last play.
Yep.
Because on a situation like that, when you have a guy be able to hit the upright and miss a field goal when you need him to miss it, and there's a timeout call to potentially ice the kicker, you have to like what you see. But now you're giving that kicker more time to recalibrate and understand where he needs to put the football so it can go through the uprights. Hopefully UNLV gets a little bit of luck, but let's see if it's Groundhog's Day and he's going to potentially be able to miss this kick one more time.
So Driswicki for the official attempt. 46 yards out. Via Fuerte, the holder. Kick is up, has the distance, and that one is punched in. The Lobos lead 31-21 as we head into halftime. Going to be an exciting ball game in the second half. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more action in the second half here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back to Sunnyside, Las Vegas, here inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here for Mountain West play. The Lobos on the road lead 31-21 at half over the Rebels. Johnny, it's been explosive play after explosive play. 2 of their touchdowns have been 80 and 84-yard house calls, and that's been a huge detriment to not only the defense, but also to the offensive side with the momentum shift.
Exactly, Wyatt. And a lot of those plays coming down to exactly what Dan Mullen pressed upon in his press conferences for the week was miscommunications. When you have all your guys communicating and being able to know where they're supposed to be, if you're playing man coverage, zone defense, whatever the case may be, you have to communicate. If you don't communicate, you get busted coverages where you have Jaheim Joseph against their second leading wide receiver in Keegan Johnson, who has an explosive play. Or on the screen pass, when they're able to have Damon Bankston be able to go out of the backfield and be able to have a big screen play and take it to the house like that. UNLV's defense is going to have to be more efficient and understand where guys are on the offensive end for New Mexico.
Prolific offense has been the name of the game for both sides. Lane, 10 of 13, 237 yards in the air and 3 touchdowns. One of his picks went to the house, so you could say he had 4 touchdowns today. Quandarius Keys would say that. But nonetheless, Anthony Calandria, 19 of 21, 227 yards through the air and 1 passing touchdown. It's been prolific through the air. It's been an exceptional game of play through the passing game, but it's going to have to take over through the offensive side for UNLV if they want to stay in this game.
And they're going to have to clean a lot of things up. A lot of the things have came down in this football game to execution and playing clean football. Anthony Calandria is pitching a complete game outside of those 2 fumbles. If he does not have that first fumble with Jet Thomas and have that last fumble to end the second half, UNLV would be in a completely different spot. But in that second quarter, I had to hallmark. I love the effort I seen from this team to be able to will themselves back and give themselves a fighter's chance. Now it's all about execution, not allowing yourself to shoot yourself in the foot and make you lose this game. You have to have New Mexico beat yourself.
Deep back for the Rebels is Glover. He's going to return this one from the 1-yard line. Breaks a tackle and brought down officially at the 28. One of the guys' names that we haven't said much today is Jet Thomas. 9 carries, only 30 yards. He's going to be an impact player because if you're able to run the ball, you're going to be able to do anything and control the pace of this game. You know, that's what Dan Mullen believes, and he said that earlier this week. And it's going to be a crucial point of emphasis to get him the ball and get him the ball in space.
Exactly. And what it does to the defense is it gasses them out. And you're able to have a running back like that is that versatile for this offense. Not only has he been able to be kind of a little bit bottled up when you look at the stats on the running game, but out of the backfield as a passer, he's been very good so far for Anthony Calandria today.
A 27-yard kickoff return by Jalen Glover puts the Rebels at the 28, 1st and 10. The first play of the second half. Calandria, option, flicks it out to Thomas, tries to get outside, and gets back to the line of scrimmage barely after being chased down by 3 Lobos.
And you can tell, teams are always going to game plan when you go into the locker room. If you see one look and you have success against it, you're going to want to run it again. But New Mexico is going to make adjustments just like UNLV does. Right there, what do? They allow their defensive ends and their nickel backs to be able to set the edge and not allow Jet Thomas to get outside of their frame, setting up a long 2nd and 10.
Jet Thomas in motion to the left. Calandria looking, dropping back. Now there's pressure, has to roll out right. Throws it out of bounds and is hit as he throws. Incomplete pass.
And this is going to be a big down. That down right there is a throwaway. It's what kills your drive because now you don't have any rhythm. You didn't get anything positive out of that play, and it's going to make you have to press the issue on 3rd down. If UNLV wants to win this football game, you can't have drives where you start cold like this and set yourselves up for failure because we know this defense is prone and susceptible to big plays happening against them.
The Rebels on 3rd down have been 3 of 6. Only 50% of the time have they converted on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 10 here. Calandria surveys the field, looking, ample time, throws it, hit, and it's Thomas for a loss there. Tackled by Xavier Slayton, and it's going to be a quick 3 and out for this Rebel offense.
And what a wonderful job by Xavier Slayton. Not only was he doing a great job as the QB spy and not allowing Anthony Calandria from his defensive end position to get outside the pocket and make plays with his legs for a 1st down, but he was able to wrap up Jet Thomas, who was the security outlet on that play, and make sure it was a stop for the Lobos.
A bad start for this offense, but a good start for the Lobo defense. Brown punts this one, dribbles it at the 45, and has a good UNLV roll to around the 32. And that's where the Lobo offense will begin.
That was a quick 3 and out for this UNLV offense, and that's not what you want to see for a team down 10, giving the ball back to an offense that has been humming beautifully so far today. Outside of that interception for a touchdown, that pick 6 from Lane, we've seen them being able to impose their will on this UNLV team. You got Bankston as a running back, 126 yards, a lot of that coming from that screen pass, but you also have the tight ends being able to be involved in this game. UNLV's defense is going to have to play man-to-man coverage and allow their pass rush to get to Lane and force him into some tough throws to be successful in this game.
Lane in shotgun with Bankston in the backfield. Now he's motioning into the slot. Empty formation here. Lane on first down. Fires to the far sideline. Connects. And hit out of bounds is Johnson after a gain of about 5 or 6. Tackle there by Latarius Welsh.
And I like Latarius Welsh on that outside, being able to understand that, yes, he is going to take that check down. If they're going to be in empty formation, yes, he did run that 5-yard stop route, but I still have to wrap up and make a form tackle and not allow him to get any yards at the catch. He did a great job of that on the outside.
Now 2nd and 5, ball at the New Mexico 32-yard line. 13 minutes to go here. Just 2 minutes down in the second half. The Lobos lead by 10. Lane in pistol formation with Bankston behind him. Handoff to Bankston. Tries to get outside, breaks the tackle, but is met near the line of scrimmage. Leveled by Blessing Alualu Tui Olemodu.
And this whole play does not happen if Chief Borders doesn't do the job that he does on trying to get to the outside. Him and Latarius Wells both did a great job of coming downhill, ready to hit, and not allowing blockers to meet them at the second level. And what did Blessing do? Come immediately on the cleanup crew to get to the running back and make a nice form tackle. This is a big down for the Rebels to be able to give this offensive football back. Man-to-man across the board is the look.
3rd and 6, ball at their own 31-yard line. Shotgun formation. Lane looking left, far side, wide open, broken coverage. Down the far sideline is Keith. He's got one man to beat and is brought down by Jake Pope inside UNLV territory at the 25.
Another busted coverage from this UNLV defense, and once again, it's Jaheim Joseph that is picked on in the secondary. Jaheim Joseph on that play was man-to-man with the tight end, and because he did not read the tight end's hip, because he's looking at the quarterback and not looking at his defender, he is allowing him to get outside of his frame on the wheel route, and it's another big chunk play for this UNLV defense that they're going to have to look back and say that they failed on that possession right there.
45-yard reception on 3rd and 6 sets up 1st and 10 at the UNLV 24. The keeper up the middle is Lobstein. He's only brought down after a gain of 1.
When you're having plays like that, you have to be able to respond. On first down, UNLV does just that. They're able to fill in the gaps and hold this team to only 1 yard. But again, when you're trying to win football games, you have to get off the field on 3rd down.
And an injured Lobo on the field, able to get up. But we're going to step aside real quick here on Rebel Sports Net. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Net. Jamar Tossi able to get off the field, the injured Lobo here. It's now 2nd and 9 at the Rebel 23, 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Holding on to the ball, Lobstein, far sideline, incomplete. But there's a flag from the umpire in the middle of the field at the 18. Right now it's 3rd down, potentially waiting on this penalty flag.
And it looks like it might be potentially an eligible receiver call right there on that play. And that's another break for this UNLV defense. It's 3rd down. Again, name of the game, you have to get stops on 3rd down. Yes, you allowed them to have that big play, but now you're in a situation where if you hold them to 3 here, you're still giving yourself a lot of time in this football game and this offense a chance to get bailed out and potentially put points on the board on this next drive. But they have to get off the field here.
3rd and 8. Bankston in the backfield with Lane.
UNLV giving a man look here.
Bankston in motion, tipped up into the air, incomplete. The ball is blocked at the line of scrimmage. Little Terrence Walsh in the area, and it's going to be 4th down, New Mexico.
You love that. You love Edmondson coming from that linebacker spot, not allowing in that empty formation the wide receiver to get back to the football, Keegan Johnson, and he's able to make a play on it, get a tip on the ball, and UNLV is able to hold this team to 3. If this defense can hold teams to 3 points, that is going to do wonders for this team for the rest of the season and the type of competition they're going to play in the Mountain West.
So about a 40-yard field goal here for Drzwicki on 4th down. Snap, hold is good, kick is up, has the distance, and it's through the uprights and in. 3 points on the board for the Lobos. Score is now 34-21 with 10:46 remaining in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Seven plays, 50 yards, and 3 points on the board from a 40-yard field goal from Luke Drzwicki. And the Lobos lead 34-21 with 10:46 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Johnny, a good defensive effort at least to bend but not break. Not a good 3rd down to allow a 45-yard reception, but nonetheless they're able to remain alive and not allow 7 here early on in the 2nd half.
Exactly, Wyatt. When you're having plays like that, explosive plays that put the opposite team in the red zone, the best thing that you can do, knowing that you put yourself in that situation, is holding that team to 3. When you're able to do that, you're able to set the precedent that we're not just going to we're just not going to roll over and allow ourselves to die and allow this team to put 6 on our head. We're going to continue to give our offense a chance and keep them within striking distance in this game. Now, offensively, we know what works, and it's been Anthony Calandria in this passing game, giving the ball to the outside. They have been seeing a lot of off-man coverage from New Mexico today, mainly because New Mexico has been playing from behind. They have been playing with a lead. UNLV needs to continue to take advantage of that, and that starts with Anthony Calandria. Get him on the outside with the ball to his playmakers and allow them to make plays. If you allow that to happen, that'll open up the running game for Jet Thomas.
The kickoff from Grant Glasgow, the redshirt junior, punts that one back in the end zone. So the Rebels will start on 1st down at their own 25. Quick skip pass out to the outside, far side. Jet Thomas brought down for a gain of about 2. 2nd down.
And they do exactly that with the screen game, which is what I love to see. You want to give the defense different wrinkles. You want to have those linebackers moving out and not making your offense so predictable to the point where teams can already know what you're going to do before you run it.
Calandria now on 2nd and 8. Ball at the 27-yard line. Play action with Thomas. Dead, no. Finds Thomas now. Far sideline. And a big 1st down for a gain of about 19.
Right there, Anthony Calandria able to equip the improviser trait, doing his best Johnny football impression. Right there, he was able to scramble long enough and hold defenders. He had a free rusher coming at him, but because he's able to pump fake with his arm and use his legs and his escapability, he's able to extend the play and turn that from a negative to a positive for the Rebels.
So now 1st and 10 at their own 46. Calandria to Thomas in the right flat. He cuts back inside and is able to pick up a gain of about 6, brought down near midfield.
I love the mentality for Jet Thomas. He hates when one dude tackles him, but right there, just being a simple security blanket. And I love Anthony Calandria not taking too much off the bone. Take what the defense gives you. If they're playing off, give it to your check down.
Calandria now on 2nd down. Hand off Thomas patiently, but unable to get anywhere. Brought down near the line of scrimmage by Mercury Swaim.
That's actually the coach's son on that play, Jackson Eck, making a good tackle right there. Again, he's the team's leading tackler, and you love to see it. Coming from that Mike linebacker position, you have to come downhill. He has that Brian Brazy neck brace behind him. That means you know this guy is coming out to hit. He is going to come and try to bring punishment to any running back he sees. Great tackle right there by him.
Eck able to initiate the contact, and Swaim bringing him down. Now on 3rd and 6, Calandria running for his life, has some space, able to pick up the 1st down, and it's hit late. Flags fly, and it's going to be a huge addition to that run, and the offensive linemen are giving it to the Lobos right now.
And what you don't want is penalties on the other side for UNLV. Get your guys, rally your guys. I understand as an offensive lineman you want to be able to protect your dude, but do not allow flags to reset this play. He got the 1st down. Yes, he got hit, but allow New Mexico to shoot themselves in the foot. Don't do the same thing on the other side if you're UNLV.
Calandria was hit late by Deshaun Martinez, the 5'10" cornerback. And awaiting the call here on the field. So instead of the ball being marked down at the 42-yard line, tack 15 on top of that.
And plays like that, they're game changers, right? You're able to have a team right now like New Mexico. You're playing with the lead. You're on the road. You know you had struggles on the road against a lot of teams, and now you're bailing this UNLV offense out. Yes, they got the 1st down. I understand that. But if you're a defensive back, you have to know better than to hit a guy, especially a quarterback who is defenseless, when he was trying to run out of bounds.
They have 2 defensive players with the number 25. It was actually Drew Speech who laid the hit, the safety. So now 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Lobos 27. 8:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Rebels trail by 13. Coy Moore in motion from left to right. Open in the seam is Gums. Connects. Breaks the tackle. Diving effort. He's in. Touchdown Rebels. 27-yard catch and run for Marquise Gums.
And for any golf fans out there, that is an absolute hole shot from Anthony Calandria, able to hit his guy right down the seam like Wyatt said. And when you're able to have a tight end that when he catches the ball, he too can turn into a receiver or a running back and use his legs to get into the end zone, that's exactly why Marquise Gums got here from the transfer portal and why they are giving him so much money in NIL to make plays from that tight end position, not allow one guy to tackle him and get in the end zone for the Rebels.
Anthony Calandria finds the gap, sticks it to Gums, and he dives for that touchdown, and he earned every inch of that. With the PAT up and in, the Rebels trail by 6, 34-28 with 8:10 remaining here on Rebel Sports Net. 6 plays, 75 yards in just 2 minutes and 36 seconds. A 27-yard strike to Varquise Gums from Anthony Calandria in the seam, making it a one-score game, Johnny.
And right here, we're in the entertainment capital of the world. The Rebels never fail to put on a show and have a spectacle when we are in the house and we are here at Allegiant Stadium ready to play this game. This UNLV crowd is lively. Everybody's going up. You see more engagement. You see the team is alive. Now, I need to see this UNLV defense continue to bend but not break. If they're able to get a stop here on this drive and give this offense the football back, an offense that has been able to execute and now consistently put points on the board, we are going to be in for one show in the fourth quarter.
And it starts with just minimizing explosive plays, which we saw one last drive. And we start here at the 25. Handoff up the middle is McKinney for a gain of 2.
And Wyatt, just a little backstory. Right there on that play, they do a little bit of inside zone. Back in the day when we were playing a little bit of our Pee Wee football, we would call that drill the Oklahoma drill. That's where you put your chin strap on, you got your hard hat on, and you run right into the defender. And you're not trying to run around him, you're trying to run right through him. Right there, DJ McKinnon tried to do that, and he ran into a brick wall with the UNLV defense.
2nd and 8, ball at their own 27, trips left for Lane. Looking right, across the middle, no good. Unable to connect there with Keegan Johnson.
That is what we call sticky coverage on the outside. It's getting sticky. Andrew Powdrill on the outside showing his man corner capabilities. When you're able to have a guy like that be your boundary corner, it allows Paul Gunther to be able to say, hey, if you are on the single side, you can be as aggressive as you like to be within 5 yards. You don't want to have it be passed because that is going to be a flag on the play, and the referees are going to call it every time. But if you're aggressive and you get a stop like that on 1st and 2nd down, you set up big 3rd downs like this. UNLV needs to get off the field here.
I love that reference. Great song. 3rd and 8. Big crucial down here. Intended for McKinney as he's lasered. Strong hit by Trey Fulton, and it's going to be a 4th down coming up here for the Lobos.
You can tell Trey Fulton and Marcel McDuffie have definitely been going over some tape about how to wrap up. Trey Fulton with an amazing job of finding the near side hip and doing the Seattle Seahawks tackling drill, acting like he was tackling a dummy. Right there, he made sure DJ McKinney, who is lightning in a bottle when the ball's in his hand, does not get the 1st down on that play. 4th down stop for the Rebels.
And a converted 4th down here. Caught on the play by the Lobos. Broken coverage by this return unit. Oh my goodness, inside UNLV territory is Buchanan.
And the University of New Mexico has came to show that they are ready to rob UNLV blind today. Right there, UNLV, they have not seen any plays like that on special teams so far this year. And what do they do on a punt in a situation where you automatically believe that they are going to punt that football away? They throw the ball and are able to get a 1st down. Absolutely beautiful execution by the Lobos on that play.
The great confidence in that play call. Lane, pressure. Far side, connects with Keith on the near sideline, and there's a penalty flag on the play. And the holding on offense is going to bring it back 10 yards and replay 1st down.
And that's going to back this up. And again, these holding penalties, these calls that back up our offense after an electric play like that, that's what you don't want to see if you are going to be the Lobos. Now you're behind the sticks, and not only are you behind the sticks, but you're behind your 50-yard line. On a play that was so explosive, you were already at the UNLV going almost to the 40-yard line. Now you're setting up for UNLV. If you get pressure on the quarterback, you're going to knock them completely out of the situation where they want to be.
That holding call is on Tosti, the Seattle native. Now Lane on 1st and 20 at their own 47. Sacked for a loss. And it's Lucas Conti.
Just like I said, sometimes you got to speak it into existence. And Lucas Conti with a big swim move, looking like Aaron Donald from the LA Rams back in the day, able to get to his money, get pressure on the quarterback, and a huge sack for a UNLV defense that is hungry to get this football back. They know that they let one get away from them, and what do they do on 1st down? They're able to get a big sack, back this offense up, setting up a 2nd and 27.
Conti's second sack of the game comes with 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 2nd and 27. Ball on their own 40-yard line. Lane in shotgun formation, trips left. He's going to keep it up the middle. Dragging a man, breaks the tackle, and is brought down by a community of Rebels at the 49-yard line.
And you love that from the Rebels. Yes, they came out in an empty formation. Yes, they spread everybody out wide. But if he is in the football game, you have to know that he is going to run the football. So what do? They get right to Lobenstein. They don't allow him to pick up more yards with his legs, and they set up a long 3rd down. Now, if you're UNLV, and especially the secondary, you have to look out for trick plays, and you have to know where the sticks are. No penalties, so you can bail out this offense. Know where the sticks are, get off the field.
Lane and Baxton in the shotgun. Hand off to Bankston. Up the middle. He's not going to get far. Gain of maybe 4 brought down at the UNLV 47.
And that's textbook. That's exactly what you want if you're UNLV, Paul Gunther in this defense. Being able to fill in the run fit, not allow an inside zone to go for 15 or 16 yards. You get that stop. You send the special teams unit out knowing that, again, if it fool me 1 time, shame on you. Fool me 2 times, shame on me. They cannot allow for any trickery on this next punt. You need to get this football back and give the offense the ball.
4th and 14 at the Rebel 47. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Lobos lead 34-28, and they will punt it this time for real. Irvin back. Fair catches it at the 10-yard line, and that's where the UNLV offense will take over on the other side here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here on the call. The Rebels offense is back on the field. They trail 34-28 with 3:17 remaining in the third quarter. They'll be 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line following the punt and reception by D'Angelo Irvin. And Calandria in shotgun formation here with Kevon Lee in the backfield. Trips right, rolling out right. Quick pass. Dropped by Jaden Bradley. He had it, but was thinking too far ahead.
Like you said, Wyatt, he had it in his hands, but because he was so worried about trying to get the ball, catch it, and use that rack ability, he lost concentration. That is a concentration drop. That's the textbook. That's what you're going to see in the Urban Dictionary if you look that one up. And for Jaden Bradley right there, that's going to be a pitch and catch that he's going to want to have back. They've been able to run that play so consistently, and it's money. And sometimes you still got to lock in. You got to dial in and make sure you catch that football before you run with it.
3 of 37 today for Bradley. Not much from him. Calandria pressure, able to break free, throws it ahead to Lee, over the top. What a beautiful pass down the near sideline, and Lee picks up the first down at the 22-yard line.
And this is why when we were in the offseason, Guys hit the weight room. You love to see Anthony Calandra being able to stay in the pocket, allow his guy Kevon Lee to get outside, pointing him upfield and directing the ball right where it needs to be, and Kevon Lee, the running back, high pointing that one for the first down.
13-yard catch by Kevon Lee. Now sets up 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Lee now with the handoff. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Wrapped up there by Frankie Edwards. Correction, Jackson Eck.
Right there, they try to use the outside zone to get Kevon Lee running out into space, but he's not a good east and west runner like Jet Thomas is. He's better when he's running north and south and he's moving up the field rather than left and right. You would like to see them go back to the pass in this situation to pick up some of those yards they lost.
It's now 2nd and 13 from a loss of 3 on 1st down. Earl, the motion man to the left. Play action, rolling left, Calandria. A wide open Bradley, caught and brought down at the 34, and that's going to move the chains for a Rebel 1st down.
And right there, Jaden Bradley making up for his mistake. What does he do? He moves them sticks for the 1st down for the Rebels. And what a great job by Jaden Bradley, being able to flush that last drop and understand that Anthony Calandria is going to need him in this football game if they want to win. He makes a beautiful, strong hands catch on the football, sees where the ball is, sees the pylon, and is able to get it.
Less than 90 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Rebels trail by 6. Handoff up the middle. Brought down for a gain of about 3. Kevon Lee with the carry.
And that's exactly what I'm speaking to with Kevon Lee. He's a bulldozer. The guy is a big back. He's 6'2", over 200 pounds. And when you're able to have him going north and south like a train going downhill, it's going to be very hard for the defense to have to go against a guy like that, rather than him moving east and west where he's having to shuffle his feet and not able to gather speed.
Less than a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Calandria rolls out, flips it, the script. Running lane now, pressured, and uses his legs to pick up the 1st down at the 46 for the moving of chains. And that's another 1st down for the Rebels.
Another 1st down for the Rebels, another point in emphasis to being able to move the chains. But there's so much things in Anthony Calandria game that I've seen so far that remind me also of another quarterback, Shadur Sanders. When he was in Colorado, he had the same type of technique when it came to scrambling outside the pocket and wheeling out to be able to run for a 1st down.
22 seconds on the game clock. Handoff up the middle to Glover. Able to get a couple yards, but not much after being tackled down by Eck.
Right there you have Jalen Glover. The reason he's able to get that carry right there is because going back to that play on special teams, him being able to get that tackle, now you're able to get rotated into this offense and allow Kevon Lee and Jet Thomas to get a break.
And that run there will take us to the end of the 3rd. 1 quarter to go. 15 minutes of play remaining. The Rebels trail 34-28. More offensive play on the other side here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium here in the broadcast booth. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here on Rebel Sports Net. Through 3 quarters of play, the Lobos lead 34-28 as the beginning of the 4th quarter commences. 2nd and 7 for the Rebels at their own 49-yard line. Now Calandria here in shotgun formation. A little hard count action. Now gets the snap. Keeper off the left side, able to get some space, gets a block diving effort. First down, Anthony Calandria at the 43-yard line.
The kid is an absolute ball player. Right there, that was the same exact play that was fumbled earlier, and what does he do? He's able to keep it, get outside, and again, the biggest part of that play is every guy did not have a holding penalty. They allowed the defenders, when they got outside their frame, they let go, they didn't hold on to anybody, and let a positive play stay a positive play.
An 8-yard carry there sets up 1st and 10 at the Lobos 43. Thomas in the backfield, Calandria shotgun, flicks it out to Thomas, loose ball, and he's able to get on it. But now Eck has the ball, but they're going to say Thomas was down by contact, but a loss of play either way for this Rebel offense on 1st down.
And right there, that's a play that Anthony Calandria is going to want back. That's part of a little bit of the Brett Favre in his game. He's a game player. He's a gunslinger. And sometimes you got to keep the bullets in the chamber. Sometimes you don't want to have a guy throw it backwards, which makes that a live ball. And if Jet Thomas doesn't have the awareness to be able to get on top of that football, Justin Eck would be getting his Christmas gift early from his dad, because that would be a football back to the Lobos. Luckily, Jet Thomas was able to get on top of the football.
And with that, the previous play will be under review for a fumble to see if Jet Thomas had full possession of the ball. So we're going to step aside here with 13:44 remaining in the ball game. 34-28, Rebels trail by 6. Welcome back inside the Death Star. If you're now just joining us, a fumble on the play, but after further review, Jet Thomas did recover it and have possession of the ball. So it'll now be 2nd and 14 at the Lobos 47-yard line. Johnny, it's one of those situations where you can take a deep breath, but you have to be able to get the ball moving forward and move the chains, because this is a crucial point in this ball game.
Yes, we've seen so far these offenses to be very highly potent, and UNLV knows that if they want to win this football game, they're going to have to get 6, not 3.
Calandria shotgun, quick pass to Omire near sideline, and is brought down near the 43 for 3rd and manageable.
I like the idea there on 1st down to be able to find Troy Omire as the quick route, or 2nd down, I'm sorry, to be able to set yourself up for a 3rd and potentially manageable. But I would have liked to see Anthony Calandria to be able to go through his reads, because now this is a crucial play in this game if they're able to potentially get this 1st down.
They stop Omire's forward progress at the 44, so it's 3rd and 11. Calandria rolling out left, firing far sideline, way too far, intended for Bradley, and that's going to bring 4th down.
And right now it's going to be very crucial decision for Dan Mullen with what he wants to do. It's going to be a very long kick for Ramon Villela, and it looks like they're going to just be punting the football away. And in a game like this, understanding, yes, it is a 6-point game, but this New Mexico offense has been lethal against UNLV today, and you don't want to give them the football back to potentially extend the lead past 3 points, and most importantly, 6 points.
Cam Brown brought out to the field, a freshman from Coolangatta, Australia, punts this one back to the 9, where McKinney fair catches it. And so we're going to step aside here on Rebel Sports Net. The Rebels trail by 6, 34-28, 12:42 remaining here from Allegiant Stadium. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnnie Graves here on the call. 12:42 remains in this ball game. The Rebels trail by 6. The ball is on the 9-yard line, backed up in their own territory. The Lobos offense will take over. Total offense for this offense is 449 yards. 346 of that is through the air. And we see similarly for the UNLV offense. It's been an air raid kind of day, Johnny.
Yeah, and that's because of a lot of busted coverages. We've seen both of these teams take advantage of poor secondary play. Jaheim Joseph has been targeted a lot. Let's see what New Mexico does here on this drive.
Handoff Bankston off the right side, trying to get the edge, but unable to. Brought down by Welsh and McDuffie after a gain of 2.5 yards.
And you love to see it. LaTerrence Welsh, he did not allow DJ McKinney to be able to get outside of his frame, or I'm sorry, Bankston to be able to get outside of his frame and bounce it to the outside. He knew he had the outside leverage, so what did he do? He forced Bankston back inside, allowed Marcel McDuffie to rally to the football, tackle for the Rebels, setting up a 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6 at their own 13-yard line. 12 minutes to go here. Laying in shotgun formation, Bankston behind him. And across the middle, penalty flag on the play, but completed it to Johnson from the slant.
And it looks like this is going to go against New Mexico most likely. Either a legal man downfield or an illegal block by this New Mexico offense trying to get the ball on the screen. And
so an illegal man downfield, like you said, partner, is going to bring this back. It's now going to be 2nd and 11. Ball will be placed at the 8-yard line.
And a lot of those plays, when you're having them, they're meant to be run plays. So these are part of RPO options. This was a quick read to be able to see if I have a window for if I'm Jack Lane, I have to be able to pass it through that window. But offensive linemen aren't taught that. They're taught to run block, which means they're going to move up the line of scrimmage. If the ball isn't out of his hands quick enough, it's going to be a penalty every time.
Laying in shotgun formation with Bankston there. Screen pass, and he's swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Down at the 3. What a tackle there by Marcel McDuffie.
Marcel McDuffie, the general on defense, trying to do his best to show that, hey, I am a top talent in the Mountain West Conference, and not just the Mountain West Conference, but in the country. I'm the leader of this defense. I do my press conferences every week, and I'm here to play. So what does he do? He follows Bankston. He reads it the whole way, does not allow the offensive lineman to block him. Big down here for the Rebels. Know where the sticks are.
3rd and 16 at their own 3. Lane looking. Pressure. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. That might be a sack. Logan Christensen with the stop.
Logan Christensen being able to be that spying linebacker, understanding that Jack Lane, yes, he does have a lot of capabilities with his legs, but it's 3rd and 16, baby. I can't let him get past me. So what does he do? He lays the wood, makes sure Jack Lane thinks twice about trying to run outside the pocket. Big stop here for the Rebels.
Now Daniel Heels with his heels on the sideline, on the back of the end zone rather, and Irvin's going to return this one, makes a man miss, cuts back inside, dragging a man, and is brought down at the 36. And that's great field position for this offense.
Amazing field position for this offense, Wyatt. And you have to think, when you're in this position now, you have 10 minutes left on the clock. You get this touchdown, you're able to get that point after you are up by 1 in this game. But there still is a lot of time in this football game, and we've seen what New Mexico can be able to do offensively. But you have to love how this UNLV defense has rallied so far in this second half. They've done a great job of making sure that they are reading their keys, not allowing big plays to happen, and making the New Mexico Lobos truly beat them in the pass game, and it hasn't worked so far.
10:07 remaining in this ball game. Calandria, handoff up the middle, fighting for a gain of 2 is going to be Jet Thomas. Tackle there by Jackson Eck.
And right there, Jackson Eck just putting his hard hat on and going to work, being able to fill the gap in the run fit, not allowing Jet Thomas to explode like we've seen him do all season long. But again, when you're in this position, you don't want any penalties that are going to knock you at least out of field goal range. You want to be able to give your kicker a chance if you can't get a first down and get 6 here.
Pistol formation, Twins left. Calandria finds Thomas in the flat, but he's brought down by Eck at the 29 for a gain of 4.
Shouting out a little bit of Drake lyrics right now. If you flip the 6 upside down, it's a 9. These guys have been going at it all day between Jackson Eck, number 6, and number 9, Jet Thomas. They have been going head-to-head so far, and that's going to be a matchup, a game within the game, between the star linebacker and the star running back for this team. Big third down here for the Rebels.
3rd and 5 at the Lobos 29. 9 minutes to go. They trail by 6. Calandria with Thomas in the backfield. Pitches it out to Thomas. In action. Flag on the play. Thomas picks up the first down. This one might be coming back.
It definitely might be coming back, Wyatt. D'Angelo Irvin Jr. did not allow the defender to get off of his block, knowing that Jet Thomas had to get the line to gain. But it also could be a horse collar tackle right there on the play. Let's see what the referees say right here.
Going down to the field for our referee, Gary Reed. And the holding call on D'Angelo Irvin is going to back this one up. A costly penalty potentially here for this offense to stall.
Exactly, and the penalties like that are drive killers. When you're having a situation right here where UNLV, they are able to pick up that first down. But D'Angelo Irvin, if you see that the defensive back is trying to get off your block, unfortunately, you have to allow Jet Thomas to make that play. If he makes that play, you live with that. If he doesn't, you live with it as well. But you can't set yourself up for negative penalties right there.
So now it's 3rd and 11, 5 on the play clock. Ball at the Lobos 35. Shotgun formation, Lee in the backfield. And the snap is held short because whistles blow it dead. And it'll be timeout for Dan Mullen and this UNLV offense. Stick around, don't go anywhere. More UNLV football on the other side. following a UNLV timeout. Let's look ahead at the upcoming schedule. Down the stretch, Johnny, they go on the road next week to Colorado State. After that, 2 home games in a row, Utah State, then Hawaii, and then they finish off with the Fremont Cannon game in Reno. Here is now 3rd and 11. Calandria rolling out right. Connects, but short of the line of gain. Hit out of bounds late is Day Reynolds. Tackled out of bounds near the 27-28 yard line. It'll be interesting to see what Mullen and Corey Dennis scheme up here for a 4th and short situation.
It's going to be very interesting. Corey Dennis and Dan Mullen both know that this game is in the balance right here. There was a 4th down call that they did not get earlier on in this game. There needs to be pure protection of Anthony Calandria, and if he doesn't get his 1st, 2nd, or 3rd read, he still has the option to use his legs.
4th and 4, Calandria, empty formation across the middle. Corey Moore, he picks up the 1st down, and diving effort at the 16. The Rebels are in the red zone.
Corey Moore on that play said, "You're going to disrespect me, putting the coach's son on me, who's a linebacker in the slot. What am I going to do? I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to stick to the outside, go back inside on the easy slant route, almost a drag route to get over the middle, and man-to-man, one-on-one, 4th down, got to have it." He gets the 1st down to move the chains.
They convert their first 4th down of the afternoon. Handoff Lee up the middle for a gain of about 2. That's going to make it 2nd down.
And that shows how much trust this UNLV offense has in Corey Moore and the plethora of receivers in this offense to go empty formation on 4th down and see the man-to-man coverage and Anthony Calandria to not scramble, not panic, but to stay in the pocket, deliver the ball on target, on the money. Great job by both of them on that play.
Entering this drive, the Rebels were 2 of 2 inside the red zone. This is their 3rd appearance here. Wide open, touchdown Rebels! 14-yard pass. Anthony Calandria connects with Nick Elksness for the touchdown.
What a beautiful play design to be able to have the play action pass and have enough time for Anthony Calandria to give the ball over the top on the corner route to your tight end. When you're able to leak those tight ends out, you're able to see guys in the NFL like Tucker Kraft, like Cade Otten, like Sam Laporta. They are making millions of dollars off of plays like that, being able to leak out in the backfield because they're unaccounted for. What a great job by the Rebels executing and putting themselves up with a 1-point lead for this team.
At one point in this game, the Rebels were down 21-0, and they get their first lead of the afternoon. 6:35 remains. The Rebels lead 35-34 here on Rebel Sports Net. The Rebels gain their first lead of the afternoon with 6:35 remaining in this ball game. 35-34. This previous drive, 7 plays, 34 yards in 3 minutes and 32 seconds, capped off by a 14-yard pass and catch to Nick Elksness in the back of the end zone. finally this Rebel offense has waken up and taken control.
Exactly, Wyatt. And when you're looking at it, that big fourth down call, being able to hit Coy Moore, the sophomore, being able to give him the football and make sure that he catches that, gets the first down, knows where the line to gain is. But all that is prefaced by this UNLV defense and the effort and performance they've had so far in this second half to have New Mexico basically have no rudder offensively so far in the second half. But this is the biggest drive of the game for either team so far. UNLV's defense is going to have to get stops on first and second down to force this New Mexico offense to push the ball downfield through the air. If they can do that, they're going to put themselves in the best chance to win this football game with 6 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in this one.
Coming now onto the field is Jack Lane and this offense, 14 of 19, 283 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. And reminder, Quandarius Keys with that pick 6, making this score that we have now. Lane, shotgun formation, rolls out right, trying to get somewhere. Pressure by Adelea. He's just going to use his legs. Hit hard right before the line to gain. And we have a couple Rebels down, one of them being Lucas Conti grabbing his face mask. And we're going to step aside here briefly from Allegiant Stadium. Don't go anywhere. 35-34 here inside the Death Star. Lucas Conti, the injured Rebel, was able to come off and assisted by the athletic training staff. Hope he is okay. 2nd and 1 for the Lobos here. Lane, pressure, sacked on the play by Jaheim Joseph, brought down at the 21-yard line for a loss of 13.
And Paul Gunther, what do you have to say to the naysayers now? Who do you think you are? I am. With the game on the line, what does the dude do? He calls a free safety blitz and has Jaheim Joseph, who has gotten picked on by tight ends, by wide receivers all day. And what does he do? He makes a big sack to set up a 3rd and 12 in New Mexico territory with the game on the line. 5 minutes to go. UNLV again, defensive backs, know where the sticks are. No pass interference penalties. Get off the field and give this offense the football back.
It is now 3rd and 12 at their own 23. Firing, corner out, caught. Keegan Johnson at the 42, delivering an absolute rocket.
And that is how you carve up a zone defense. UNLV, knowing the down and distance, what do? They go into a cover 3 shell cover 2 shell, I'm sorry. They have LaTerrence Welsh in that flat defender spot, and the only route that can beat that on the outside is going to be that corner route sitting perfectly in that zone.
They convert yet another 3rd down here in crunch time. Less than 5 minutes to go. The Lobos finally trail by 1. Hand off to Bankston. He is brought down after a gain of 2 at the 44.
It's a great job right there by Patterson, being able to come from that linebacker spot and not allowing Bankston to have any more explosive run after that play on that carry. But again, for UNLV, you've already had 2 to 3 great plays so far on this drive. You do not want to let your highs get too high and your lows get too low. Still play disciplined, smart football. 2nd and 8 here for the Rebels.
Ball at the 44-yard line, 4:15 remaining in the fourth quarter. Lane, one-on-one, near sideline. What a catch, and the flag. Brought down inside UNLV territory is again Keegan Johnson making a play on this drive.
Keegan Johnson showing that he cannot be messed with. On that play, it was complete man-to-man coverage. Andrew Powdrell as the boundary corner on the outside. He is the go-to guy, the number one corner. Whoever is the top receiver on the team, he's going to see him. And unfortunately, that's a rep that he lost and he's going to want back. But what an amazing pitch and catch to be able to fight through the pass interference, take the contact from the ground, the turf monster, and complete that catch.
Less than 4 minutes to go. Rebels lead 35-34. Lobos in UNLV territory at the 31. 1st and 10. Direct snap to McKinney. Runs it up the middle. Option play. Fakes the handoff to Lane. And he gets a gain of about 2.
And that's exactly what UNLV's defense wants to do. You want to bend but not break. In this situation, if you're getting stops that are going to be first 1 to 2 to 3 yards on first down, that is what you want from this defense. You're in the red zone. It's important to note, New Mexico only has 2 timeouts. They wasted a timeout earlier in this game. So they only have the 2-minute warning and 2 more timeouts left in this game to stop the clock.
UNLV took a timeout. They have 2. New Mexico with 3 and a one-on-one catch. Johnson again on Powdrell making a play. Brought down out of bounds at the 13 for a gain of 15.
And it looks like Jack Lane has found the guy that he wants to pick on in this offense, and it happens to be Andrew Powdrell when they need to have it most. What do they go to? The Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers special, the back shoulder fade.
Handoff up the middle. McKinney, he's got a lane. He's in. Touchdown Lobos. They regain the lead. A 13-yard strike from the sophomore.
And right there, beautiful execution by the Lobos to be able to put themselves in a position to win this football game. And it's all out the back on Jack Lane and Keegan Johnson. Time after time, putting the ball where it needs to be and having immediate pitches and catch. And this is a guy I talked about before the game. DJ McKinney is in their back pocket. Whenever they need it, instant offense. Now, big 2-point conversion here for the Lobos, I'm sorry.
The Lobos lead by 5. They try to extend it to 7. Lane looking near side. Caught, but not in the end zone. 2-point conversion incomplete.
And Andrew Powdrell, what did he do? He did not go pout. He did not go give up. What does he do? On a big second 2-point conversion, he gets the stop. He does not allow him to get into the end zone for that 2-point conversion. He keeps fighting, makes him catch the ball out of bounds. And now, UNLV, all these fans need to be on their feet because the Ant-Man is getting the football back with a chance, 2 minutes and 54 seconds, to lead this team down the field and have a legacy drive here for the Rebels. I know I'm excited. Wyatt, you have to be excited for what we're about to see because history is going to be in the making here in the Dan Mullen era with his star quarterback on this drive.
The Lobos 8 plays, 75 yards in 3 minutes and 41 seconds. The 13-yard carry by McKinney to give the Lobos the lead once again. They lead 40-35. And the guy they call Ant-Man, who was questionable for today, a lot of talks around the program about his flu symptoms. He has been ill today. 31 of 36, 343 yards and 3 touchdowns, and has the opportunity to play hero once again with 2:54 remaining.
I know we're a Nike school, but with the way that Anthony Calandria is playing today, he's definitely doing his best flu game impression right now. Michael Jordan, if you're watching and if you're listening, you got to be impressed with what you've seen from Anthony Calandria today so far.
And returned by Christensen off the left side, tackled at the 17. And that's where the UNLV offense will take over with 2:48 to go and 2 timeouts.
And if you're a kid back at home and you got a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox One, these are the moments you dream of when you buy the game College Football 26, when you're on the road to glory and you're having a chance to lead the team with a 2-minute drill to end the game. It's touchdown or bust. Anthony Calandria, sick or not, knows that he's going to have to lead this team with an efficient drive. He has the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts in his back pocket. this is the game right here in his hands.
Calandria under center on 1st and 10. Play action. Looking. Pressure in his face. Wide open. Jet Thomas caught at the 33 and tight ropes it at the 37. So close from being able to jailbreak it and go down the distance, but unable to stay in bounds.
Exactly. And sometimes, again, you have to take what the defense gives you. Yes, you were able to get that ball to Jet Thomas, but you have to be happy that that play was not a negative. It was not a sack. Anthony Calandria stayed in the pocket long enough to deliver the ball, but, again, the clock is to your favor right now.
19-yard catch there by Thomas. Calandria fighting for his life, throws the ball away, and Thomas was in the area. It's an incomplete pass, no intentional grounding, and he survives a potential loss of down or a negative play.
Big break right there for the UNLV offense, because that could have been intentional grounding and a loss of down, like you said, Wyatt. But for Anthony Calandria, yes, he loves to wheel out of the pocket. But for him to luckily be able to get rid of that football, not let it be a fumble, not let it be an interception, but get it to the ground close to his receiver in proximity, beautiful play right there by Calandria to have the wherewithal to get that off.
2nd and 10 at their own 37. Lions in motion to the left side. Calandria surveys the field, ample time, throws it intended for Thomas, unable to get it off target. 3rd down.
One of the only times today we haven't been able to see Anthony Calandria and Jet Thomas pick up on that easy pitch and catch as the check down for him. Now, 3rd and 10. It is 4-down territory. So if you're Corey Dennis, you want to have a good play call that if you don't get on 3rd down, you still have it in your back pocket with a play to be able to get the 1st down. But right here, you have to have something positive, at least 3 to 4 yards to be able to give yourself a manageable 4th down.
3rd and 10 at their own 37. Trips right. Lee in the backfield. He throws it to Lee. Check down. And he's brought down out of bounds at the 42. Short of the line to gain, but cuts that yardage in half.
And that right there, that's your easy play. That's your easy pitch and catch. Now you're setting up a 4th and 5. I would like to see UNLV to go back to that empty formation and force New Mexico to either play man-to-man coverage, where you're going to find your number 1 guy, find the look that you like, and give him the football.
And a timeout here taken. Correction, the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Big action, big play underway. 4th down and 5 on the other side here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium here on Rebel Sports Network. Wyatt, Touchet, and Johnny Graves here on the call inside the broadcast booth. 2-minute timeout just happened, and the Rebels trail by 5. 2 minutes ago, the biggest play of the game up to this point, 4th and 5 at their own 42. And Ant-Man in empty formation will look to deliver once again for this program.
And what the empty formation gives him is a tell on what the defense wants to do.
3 receivers to the left. And motion from left to right is Irvin. 20 on the play clock. Calandria looking, fires across the middle, dropped! The referee was in the way. Coy Moore was pointing at him, unable to bring it down. Turnover on downs for the Rebels.
And that is a play that the Rebels are going to be thinking about from week to week. The referee, the back line judge, was in the way and impeded Coy Mori's ability to find that football, and he had to move around him to get to that play. But what an amazing play from the defensive back, Tavion Combs, to be able to come from that safety position and man-to-man defense, get a hand on the football, force the deflection, and get off the field on 4th down.
So now this Rebel defense will have to get a stop on this set of downs, or this ball game will be over.
And right here, if you're UNLV, quick stops. You cannot allow this team to get a first down. If they do happen to get a first down in this game, the game is over.
1st and 10 at the Rebel 42. The Lobos offense takes over. In the backfield is McKinney. Lane hands it off. McKinney trying to break a tackle but unable to. Stopped at the 42-yard line. And a quick timeout by the Rebels, their second of the second half.
And great job. That's exactly what needed to happen on 1st down for the Rebels to be successful, to potentially get this football back. You want the Rebels to force New Mexico into taking either a punt to be able to get the ball back, or take a field goal, get the opportunity for the offense to get the football back. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. But they will have to go down the football field and not only get a touchdown, but get a 2-point conversion if the Lobos get 3 points out of this drive.
Throughout this game, 523 yards, 401 through the air for this offense of New Mexico. They have been almost unstoppable for this UNLV defense. They have struggled this year tremendously, and that's been a huge talk of conversation and critical eye of this team this year. And they have an opportunity to silence a little bit of that down the stretch and try to get a stop on these set of downs.
And it's been a tale of 2 halves for this UNLV defense if you're looking at it. If you look at the first half, the Lobos scored 24 points in the second quarter. If you're looking at the second half, they only have 9 to UNLV's 14. Their defenses came to play in the second half today.
2nd and 10, empty formation. Lane, penalty flag though, stops the play, and it's going to be a false start on the offense.
It's going to be on
critical negative yardage play.
Negative yardage play right there, Wyatt, and it's going to be on the left side of that offensive line, moving just a little bit too fast. You know those guys are going to be antsy in this position. It's a big down, but again, another big break from UNLV. This is going to be knocking them out of field goal range. They have to understand where the down and distance is, and still, the name of the game, no first downs. Do not allow this team to get a first down.
1 minute, 49 seconds to go. The ball's now on the UNLV 47-yard line. Lobos offense, 2nd and 15. They lead by 5. UNLV has 1 timeout. The Lobos have 3. Tackled right at the line of scrimmage is Lobstein by Chief Borders. And UNLV will take their final timeout of the half. And it'll be 3rd and long.
And beautiful plays so far to be able to understand when Lobstein is in the game, what's going to happen? They're going to run. So what does Chief Borders do? He dives, he gets after the quarterback, he's able to wrap up, get him to the ground. Beautiful time management by him to be able to get the clock stopped, timeout from Dan Mullen, and you're able to give this defense a chance on 3rd and 17 to give the offense the football back, not allow any points, but they are going to have no timeouts. We're going to see they're going to have one more chance potentially if they can get off the field here.
It'll be interesting to see if the Lobos are able to get a chunk play, keep the clock going, and get in field goal range.
Yes, if the Lobos get a first down out of this game, with UNLV with no timeouts left in this football game, it's going to be a wrap. They're going to simply have to kneel this one down, and they're going to be able to ride on back home to Albuquerque with the W.
So this sets up 3rd and 17 for New Mexico. Ball at the UNLV 49-yard line. New Mexico leads 40-35 with 1:43 to go. Empty formation for the Lobos here. And it's Lobstein at quarterback by himself. He's going to carry it himself and brought down at the 38. And the clock will tick about 40 seconds, so it'll be under a minute to go. Lobstein struggling to get up, limping off the field. I'm curious to see if this offense goes for it on 4th down or if they take their points.
This is a very big play call right here because if UNLV is able to get a stop here on 4th down, they're going to not only stop the clock, but then they're also going to be able to be in pretty good field position for Anthony Calandria to move downfield with no timeouts. Everything on the offensive end, if they get the ball back, will be quick reads, get out of bounds, quick read, get out of bounds. But if you're New Mexico here, you're milking the clock, you're understanding, yes, we do have 3 timeouts still left in this half that we have to work with, and they're going to be able to use that to their advantage.
New Mexico takes their first timeout of the half, stopping the clock at 57 seconds. Current situation is 4th and 6. A big call here for Luke Schluchner and Jason Eck and what they want to do on 4th down. They've been ballsy all day going for it on 4th down in times that you wouldn't expect. And that's my intuition, is that they're going to go for it here on 4th down and get the kill shot of the game.
And I think a lot of it is going to be time of possession right now in the football game. If you're UNLV, and for both of these teams really, you have 57 seconds left on the clock, but you also don't have Levinson. He's on the sideline. He's reaving in pain right now. And in this situation, you're not in field goal range. If you're going to set up for a long field goal, it's going to be very difficult to be able to get that in. But right now, UNLV and New Mexico are both playing the time of possession game. If UNLV gets this football back, they're going to have a chance. It's going to take a Herculean effort, but they're going to have a chance at 6. New Mexico, though, they want to end this losing streak on the road. They want to walk out of UNLV, out of Allegiant Stadium with a dub and be able to show that they are going to be top 3 in the Mountain West when it comes to these teams.
The punting unit does come out, but that does not mean they won't do some trickery. Deep for the Rebels is Irvin, and set to punt is Daniel Hughes. 4th and 6 here. The snap. Hughes holds onto it for an extra second. He will punt the ball, letting it bounce to the 2-yard line. An incredible punt and field coverage by this New Mexico special teams.
Beautiful execution. You can't ask it any better from this special teams unit. From the punt to the recovery, they did a fantastic job of everybody being dialed in on exactly what they needed to do. They didn't have an arm punt. They didn't allow UNLV to get good field position from around the 40-yard line, but they backed them up all the way to the 2, and now you're setting up a situation where they have to get 98 yards, but we know Corey Dennis, when they go into their 2-minute offense, right now they're in 50-second offense. They're going to need to move the ball down quick.
50 seconds on the clock, ball on the 2-yard line. Calandria has done this before. It's time for him to be the hero. First down, check down. Thomas trying to get outside. He does, and out of bounds, stopping the clock after a gain of about 3.
It's a great job by Anthony Calandria, not taking a sack, getting to the check down, and allowing Jet Thomas to catch it and get out of bounds.
Ball will be placed ahead at the 6-yard line, so it's now 2nd and 6. 43 seconds, 94 yards, no timeouts. The Rebels trail by 5. They have to get a touchdown. Calandria trips right, shotgun formation. Pressure, throws, check down, gets Thomas. He's out of bounds again. Only a couple seconds tick. Almost in trouble there, and gets out of harm's way just in time. Calandria staying alive here with 38 seconds to go.
Just when you think New Mexico is going to play it safe, play conservative, and play off-man coverage, what does Spence Nowinski do? He sends his linebacker on the blitz to get after Anthony Calandria. But Calandria has enough time in the pocket, enough scramble ability to get the ball out.
Brett Carhu almost got him, but it'll be 3rd and 2 here, 38 seconds, 4-down territory. Ball at their own 10-yard line. Backed up, a screen pass, incomplete. Try to use the aggression against them, and they come up. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
This is officially the game right here. UNLV has to have a good play out of their back pocket, but they also have to understand, if you do get this conversion, you either have to get out of bounds or get down and keep moving, because you have to spike the football knowing the clock is working against you in this side of your field.
Game is on the line. The Rebels convert, they stay alive. New Mexico gets a stop. They get their first win on the road this season. 40-35, 35 seconds remain. Calandria rolls out right. Near side, caught by Bradley at the 17. And hurry up offense here at the line of scrimmage. Clock does not start until the referee motions. And they're going to stay in shotgun here and keep this ball moving. Quick snap, Calandria. Pressure, sacked! 23 seconds and counting. They're going to have to spike this one.
And right there, beautiful pressure off the edge. They were able to have the edge rusher get to the quarterback so fast.
And Calandria spikes it with 11 seconds left. That sack brought him back to the 11-yard line, a loss of 6. And that could be the play that cements this game right there.
And right there, we haven't said his name often today. Keyshawn James Newby, the senior, 6'2", 244 pounds, with insane explosion against the right tackle, Austin Boyd, on that play, to be able to use that edge rush to be able to get after the quarterback and not allow him to diagnose downfield. That's exactly what New Mexico needed to be able to potentially close out this game.
The Rebels need a miracle with 11 seconds. They have to go down the field 89 yards and an offsides free play. But the referees blow it dead, so they'll get 5 more yards tacked on. Ball at the 16.
And right there, if you're the Rebels, you're going to take whatever you can get at this point in the game. You need to be able to get free yards where you can. You have 11 seconds. You got time for maybe one to 2 plays. You have 2 plays, but you're going to want to try to get a chunk, get out of bounds, and pray for a Hail Mary.
Trips left, shotgun formation. Calandria with Lee in the backfield, looking, firing deep far sideline, has an open man, almost intercepted, dropped, intended for Jaden Bradley, but there's still time on the clock. 4 seconds remain, and it's 4th down.
Play call here, Wyatt, backyard football, hook and ladder. That is the last chance that UNLV has in this game. It was a good job by Anthony Calandria trying to give his guy a shot, trying to see if they could potentially get any type of pass interference call to move the football up. But now UNLV is going to have to try to see if they have anything in their back pocket. I want Jet Thomas. I want Jaden Bradley. I want my stars with the ball in this scenario.
New Mexico takes their second timeout of the half. This will likely be the last play of the game. 4 seconds remain. The Rebels trail 40-35. 4th and 11 at their own 16-yard line. They have to go 84 yards down the field to get into the end zone. A highly unlikely opportunity, but not one to count out.
We are in Las Vegas. We've seen crazier things. We've seen crazier upsets. But for this UNLV Rebel team, you got to think back at the way that they started this game, starting sluggish, starting slow coming out of that bye week. And you have to understand that those things are going to come back to bite you when you least expect it, and especially in the game with the level of talent that New Mexico has on the offensive end. The defense did not do what they were supposed to do in the first half, and it put them in a hole. Now they're going to have to deal with the consequences of that in this football game right now.
New Mexico with a win will have their 6th win of the season and be bowl eligible. 5 seconds on the clock. Calandria has to make something happen. He's going to run, and it's going to be hook and ladder. Pitchy, woo-woo. Out of bounds. Time expires. Ball still alive. The referees didn't blow it dead. Ball's loose. Rebels have it. Kevon Lee. And the ball is down at the 25. The Lobos are bowl eligible and win their first game on the road, 40-35, with an upset in Las Vegas. A stunner here in Allegiant Stadium. Rebel Nation will go home sad again. 2 straight losses for the Scarlet and Gray. What an offensive performance by this Lobos team.
This Lobos team did exactly what Luke Schleusner wanted them to do when it comes to this offense. They were able to be efficient in the passing game with Jack Lane having his best game so far for the Lobos, putting the ball on the money time and time again to his receivers, Keegan Johnson, and using his legs when they needed it most. This 2-quarterback system was extremely successful against this UNLV defense. There's a lot of things that UNLV is going to look back at this game and say that we did things to shoot ourselves in the foot, and we beat ourselves in this game. Now, you're going to have 5 straight weeks of football. You're going to have to pay attention to details and try to make sure that this feeling doesn't happen again, or else it's going to be tough sledding for the rest of the season for the Rebels.
Jack Lane cemented himself as a legend here today as the player of the game. 17 of 22, 342 yards, and 3 touchdowns. His quarterback rating through the roof, 243.8. And with that, special thank you to Kevin Martin and Jack Bridges for their help getting this broadcast going. And everyone tuning in from here at Rebel Sportsnet, Wyatt, Touchet, Johnnie Graves, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good one. See you later, folks.